a lot of pies, and one of his most recent ventures is in clothing through his sportswear brand Clutch Athletics. Paul tells Bloomberg that working on clothing and sneakers indulges interests he's had going back to his childhood.
I was always a kid that really loved the detail and everything. When I bought shoes, when I bought clothes, I really looked at the detail, the messaging that was in it. And when I identified with brands, a lot of it came from the stories that was told. And if I didn't like the story, I didn't align with it. Or if it didn't align with me, I didn't purchase. And so my experience comes from a very authentic place.
And all the different projects he works on under the Clutch umbrella connect back to one of his biggest passions.
They're all intertwined. They're all connected in a lot of ways. It all leads back to sport.
I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Milwaukee Black Talk lives here on 101.7 FM and 1510 AM, W269DL Milwaukee, and WGKB Waukesha.
He steps to the mic with a boom, ping, ping. Wisdom sharper than a beast's fierce sting. Words like fireflies that light the night. He turns the dark into blazing bright. Boom, ping, ping, the truth takes wing. Milwaukee's voice, let the city sing. Boom, ping, ping, hear the freedom ring. Sherwin's the king, oh, the airwaves king. Shake the ground, unveils the truth where lies abound. Politics, justice, social streams. He molds the chaos into dreams. No silence here, just the sound of change. Boom, ping, ping, rearrange. Boom, ping, ping, the truth takes wing. Milwaukee's voice, let the city sing. Boom, ping, ping, hear the freedom ring. Sherwin's the king, or the airwaves king. Through the static, through the noise, he amplifies the people's voice. Boom, ping, ping, like a heartbeat's call. He's got the wisdom to break down walls. Yeah.
Good morning. Welcome to the program. Today is Friday, the last day of July in the year of our Lord, 2026. What a difference a day can make. If you listen to my interview with Democratic candidate for governor and current Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley yesterday. You heard me say something at the very conclusion of that interview. And I said abruptly, almost out of nowhere, and quite honestly, impulsively, Mandela Barnes, you should drop out of the race. And then we went to commercial break. I had no idea that within 4.5 hours of me making that unprompted, impromptu statement, which has been pretty consistent with what I've been saying this entire campaign cycle. Because if you just looked at the merits of his candidacy, it did not make any sense for Mandela Barnes to even enter into the race for governor, because he had the clearest shot, really, of any candidate, let alone an African-American candidate, to be the executive director of the state of Wisconsin. He got elected lieutenant governor in 2018. I believe Mandela Barnes could have gotten reelected to lieutenant governor in 2022 because Tony Evers, as governor, got reelected in 2022. We come to find out in 2025 that Tony Evers decided not to run again for a third term, and then Mandela likely would have started his campaign for governor sometime thereafter, and it would have saved us from having to go through what has been just the most unpredictable, quite honestly, unprofessional, unorthodox Democratic primary that I have ever seen, and I've seen some crazy ones. Usually for a primary to be this otherworldly, it's a presidential primary when you have everybody and their mother thinking they can be the next president. You oftentimes don't see things as topsy-turvy and unpredictable as this in the good old upper Midwestern, somewhat conservative state of Wisconsin. Yet here we are. I want to give some details of the story, but also let me say this. My disagreements with Mandela Barnes are on his political decisions, which are very, very public. When you run for office, you are intentionally and willingly exposing who you are, your sentiments, your policy ideas, where you fall on the spectrum. Like, you are giving that to the public for us to debate and discuss and sometimes argue about. Like, that is the whole point of running for office. You are presenting your positions, and we, the public, the voters, will make a decision based upon who you are, what you say, your politics, et cetera, et cetera. So my disagreements with him have not necessarily been with him as a man, as a person, as a human being. I have just questioned some of his decisions because they have not led us to a better place. And I have to be focused on the African-American community because it seems like nowadays nobody else is. And if I look at his career in totality and the policies that he has suggested or sponsored, I don't know if they have moved the needle forward. So that is where my disagreement is. What I don't like is he kind of got Me Too'd, but didn't even Me Too anybody. But it also goes into his decision making because Mandela knew. Ladies and gentlemen, can I be honest with you? We all knew what he was doing. But as a man, I do have respect for men because, again, nobody even really cares about men. Nobody cares if we suffer. Nobody cares if we struggle. People will pretend to, but nobody really cares because men are just supposed to be tough and macho and just suck it up. So I don't necessarily want to beat up on men. And plus, we can get accused of anything and everything, and we are usually guilty before we are ever considered innocent. And if Mandela, as a single man, an unattached man, is involving himself with women, whether he pursues them or they pursue him, I don't like the fact that now all of a sudden, for all intents and purposes, consensual encounters that he had as a grown man with grown women has now turned into something nefarious. So I had a discussion yesterday with, I don't know, one of y'all, maybe Al, because people always question the caliber of our elected officials. Oh, we need better elected officials, Sherwin. Our elected officials aren't doing anything, Sherwin. They're not helping black people, Sherwin. And I pushed back on that like I often do by saying the people that we have that run for office and ultimately win are the people that are okay and can withstand the intense and unfair public scrutiny that you get when you opt to be a policymaker. You're never going to get the best people. You're never going to get the smartest people, the most accomplished people, because they don't want to subject themselves and their families and their friends to what may be brought up. And some things may have happened a very long time ago. And here's what should scare people, probably more than anything else. Because there are folks who I think would be good policymakers, but they're nervous about jumping into such an arena because it's ferocious. It will destroy you. It can tear your marriage apart. Ladies and gentlemen, we all have done things. I'm sure in our moments in which we are somewhat embarrassed, but that's a part of being a human being. You got to do stupid stuff to learn the consequence. And then what happens is you grow up, you mature, and hopefully you do less stupid things as you get older, you see. But that is not where the problem is, because I think the human beings do give each other a little bit of grace. Like if I meet somebody and they say that they were married and divorced, I'm like, oh, okay, because sometimes that happens. Or if maybe somebody got in a little bit of trouble when they were younger and they did a little stint behind bars. Oh, okay, we know that things can happen and people can be at the wrong place at the wrong time, and we all make mistakes. It's all fair. I think we give people some latitude to be human. But in the lives that we live, and I'm actually going to defend Mandela because it's tough. Like I'm on the fence here because politically he could have saved us a lot of this grief, but also he knew that this stuff was out there and why he would subject himself to another run for governor where he never was leading in the polls. The person that he got elected with in 2018, Governor Tony Evers, endorsed David Crowley at that point. Mandela and others should have said, you know what, the governor is endorsing somebody else. We have no clear shot to win. Why would you stay in the race knowing that these allegations were out there? Now, I don't know if he knew they were going to come out and he planned to defend himself, but I don't know if he did a good enough job of defending himself. This also relates to the question that we're asking you via YouTube, because, you know, we have inquisitive temperaments here. If you go to youtube.com or open up your YouTube app from your smartphone or other mobile device, search 1017 The Truth, hit subscribe. You'll be able to participate in a very lively chat and also vote in our daily YouTube poll. Do you guys think the Mandela Barnes political career is over? He loses a Senate race. He drops out of the race for governor, and I think somewhat of a disgrace. He's never dropped out of a race before, so I know that this was tough. I did post a video on the Hughes Views 414 YouTube channel where I played his video announcing the termination of his candidacy. And I could tell that it was very, very difficult for him. But he knew, we all knew, that there was some weird allegations. Some of it was fabricated. Okay, Democratic politics, can I just tell y'all? I don't know if this is good or bad, but Sherwin Hughes happens to be a little bit of an insider. I was out with a bunch of David Crowley supporters last night. Oh, they've never been more optimistic in their life. I'm like, everybody calm down. David is not automatically the front runner now because Mandela drops out of the race, but they're ignoring the polls. They're like, oh, Sherwin 7%, 7%. David Crowley's going to win. I'm like, all right. But it's all rumor. It's gossipy. It's petty. It's like being in high school because everybody on the Democratic side, and if you're of a certain age and if you've worked in Democratic politics, we all know each other. I've known Kelda for 24 years. I've known Joel Brennan for 25. I know Mandela forever. I've known David Crowley since he was with Urban Underground, for God's sakes. He was a damn teenager. So it's all based on rumor. But here's the cautionary tale for those of you that, I don't know why you'd want to, are considering running for political office, or it's of interest to you, or it's fascinating to you. You have done some things in your life, ladies and gentlemen, that you have forgotten about. That's the problem. That's the gray area that a lot of people don't consider when they run for office. You did something, or you said something, or maybe you posted something on Twitter in 2010 that you completely and totally forgot about. It will come back, and it threatens to not just upend your political career. it could upend your entire life and your future job and professional prospects. So I admire the people that decide they want to run for office because they're running for office considering the fact that they may have done something or said something since the dawn of the internet that they have completely forgotten about. Ladies and gentlemen, I assure you there have been things that you all have done, that you all have said that you don't remember, but it really impacted somebody else, meaning they, the person you said this thing to or the person you did this thing to, they will never forget, but you have. So you have to take this complete and total inventory of your working memory of anything you may have said or you may have done. Now, here's the thing with that. Some people are very good at taking such inventories. And if you know that you have things in your background that may not play well publicly, especially in a very complicated political primary, you get out ahead of it. Let me tell you what a saving grace for Mandela Barnes or anybody else could be in a similar situation. Because the public has a lot of respect for somebody who comes out and is honest, even if that honesty is quite embarrassing. Mandela could have came out very early on in the cycle and said, you know what, I want to run for governor. Here's the reasons why. But also, I'm going to let y'all know something. I was hoeing around a little bit. I was thoughting it up. I did some thoughting. I'm a different man now. I'm a changed man now. I thought less. I still thought a little bit, but not as much as I did. And there are some people that I thoughted with. It was consensual thoughting. We thoughted together. The thought party. We played thought music. We did thought dancing. But I just want to let you all know that I didn't do anything illegal. It was all consensual, but I thoughted it up just a little bit. And so then when these allegations come out, if they come out at all, people can be like, oh, that's old news because he already told us on the onset that he was thoughting in Manitowoc County or he was thoughting up in Marathon County and he was thoughting in Eau Claire. Everybody thoughts in Eau Claire. In fact, if I find out any of you have ever been to Eau Claire, I'm just going to label you a hoe. I suppose he could have got out ahead of it, but now it's out there, and it seems a lot worse than it is. I know how some fellas are taking it. You guys are like, this is no big deal, and maybe it isn't, but you got to keep in mind, the majority of the voters are women, and there are some women who may be turned off by this and who can relate to being involved with a man that they may feel after the fact took advantage of them. I'm going to take a break, come back. Got a couple of stories here, give you some details. And also, what does this mean for the governor's race? I know Franny Pants, she just comes out clean in all this. Within 7 minutes, I got flooded with information. It was a real small window of time yesterday where, boom, first thing I heard is Mandela's dropping out. And I was like, let me verify. But then I scrolled up and I had a previous message that said, get this, y'all. Joel got mad at me. He texted me yesterday. He's a little mad. But, I mean, I make people mad for a living. I'm used to it. Joel Brennan was set to drop out of the race and endorse Kelda. Okay? That was the first news that I got. That was like at 12:45. I left here at noon, so about 12:45, I checked my phone. Joel Brennan dropping out of the race for governor and is going to endorse Kelda. 5 minutes after that, Mandela Barnes is dropping out of the race. So I put something on Twitter because here's the thing about media nowadays, and I shouldn't admit this because it's going to make you guys find us even less credible than we are. It's not about being right. It's about being first. I was like, oh, snap. Let me post it on Twitter. Let me win the internet for the day. Joel, I'm not going to repeat what he said to me. He was like, Sherwin, if you heard a rumor about me, then you're supposed to call me. That's what friends do. I felt like kind of like I disappointed him. I was like, oh, sorry. Here's what I think happened. Joel was going to drop out of the race and endorse Kelda, just to stick his finger in the eye of both David Crowley and Tony Evers. But then the Mandela story broke, and Joel was like, I ain't going nowhere. Let Mandela drop out. I'm staying in. So when I received the information, I believe that Joel was on his way out of this campaign, but Mandela drops out. And Joel was like, I think I'll stay. But isn't that the nature of what this entire primary has been? Sarah Rodriguez was in the race, then she dropped out, then David Crowley dropped out of the race and endorsed Sarah Rodriguez, and then David Crowley gets back in the race. Mandela Barnes was going to drop out of the race, and Joe Brennan was going to drop out of the race and endorse Kelda, but then Mandela dropped out of the race, and Joe Brennan is back in the race. I'm so sick of this. Just bring back President Obama. Make it easy. Why is it now I got to be a Democratic socialist now if I want to beat a Republican? I'm so sick of this. I just want to lay around and just eat chicken salad all day. That's all I want to do. Maybe I'm wearing underwear. Maybe I'm not. Don't worry about my undergarments. Worry about your own undergarments. Sometimes they feel very confining. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes exclusively on 101.7 FM, in which I can accurately predict who's going to drop out of the race. We'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force, and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is "My job is people, everyone is my business." But unfortunately, in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jakimick, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide. My service never stops.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot fast and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Got to go in raw.
You want me to? I can start singing, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't have it ready.
That's all right. We usually play music between segments, but Xavier and I were comparing notes. It's not ideal. Not also, I think it's reflective of just what American politics has become, and I often bring up how Donald Trump has changed not just the political landscape, but even the social landscape. And Democrats sometimes they are repulsed and they recoil at the fact and the thought that Donald Trump, as sinister of a political figure and personal figure, he's a villain. As bad as he is, that he can have an impact on how people think about campaigns, politics, and elections. But because Donald Trump has so salted the earth with infidelity and adultery and prostitution and sex trafficking of children and Jeffrey Epstein, when it happens on the Democratic side, it's like, oh, nothing to see here. This has happened before with the literal president of the United States. And Democrats need to understand that the political universe has forever been changed because the latitude that we give really bad people, really bad men in particular, has now become status quo. I've also learned something about this American democracy, if you even can call it that. If you promise people stuff that you're going to make their lives better, you're going to make things cheaper, you're going to make childcare more affordable, you're going to quote unquote fully fund public education. What else? You're going to make gas prices cheaper. You're going to raise wages. What else? You're going to take away Act 10 and you're going to be supportive of organized labor unions. Let me see. What else? You're going to support more grocery stores, fresh fruits and vegetables. Let me see. What else? You're going to be opposed to data centers. You're going to be opposed to big tech. Let me see. What else? You're going to hate millionaires and hate billionaires. Let me see. What else? You're going to tax the millionaires and the billionaires. I don't know what the hell you're going to do with the money. Let me see. What else? You're opposed to wars. There won't be any more forever wars anymore. Let me see. There's got to be something else. What else? You're opposed to Zionists and Zionism, and you're opposed to the Palestinian genocide. The American people will let you be a scoundrel if you promise them all of those things that I just said. Even if you have no legitimate way or path to make any of those things come to fruition. If you tell us you were going to do those things, if you are our proverbial genie in a bottle candidate, you will even get people to change political party. You'll even get tried and true Democrats to become Democratic socialists if you just promise me. If you say you're going to do all of these things that I could not achieve on my own and that previous elected officials could not make come to fruition. If you just promise me, sell me a dream, lie to me, tell me I'm pretty, tell me I'm the best kisser you've ever kissed, tell me I smell good, I will let you do anything. I will let you get away with anything. I will let you get away with murder. Donald Trump said it. He could kill somebody on Fifth Avenue, wouldn't lose any supporters. Facts. Americans don't even care about the sanctity of our democracy, of the rules, of the status quo. I come to find out we don't like the establishment anymore. Do you understand? Without establishment, we have anarchy, and America doesn't do well with anarchy because we have too many crazy people and too many guns. But for some reason, we don't like the establishment. Let me tell you why. Because the establishment, it didn't make us rich. And so what do? We hate the establishment, and at the same time, we hate rich people because the establishment didn't work and didn't make us all rich. Everybody I know wants to have money because people say their money doesn't go far enough. The inflation is too high. Eggs are too high. Everybody wants to be rich. Powerball gets to $1 billion. Y'all bend over backwards to play the Powerball. I play it too. But for some reason, if the Powerball is like a measly $200 million, I don't play. I'm like, oh, that's not enough. But if it gets up to $1.5 billion, I'm like, okay, that'll move my needle. I watched a YouTube documentary on what actually happens when you win that kind of money. And I hate to have to admit this, it's almost not worth it. It's so stressful and troublesome, and people are going to try and sue you, and everybody's going to have a business idea for you. Not to mention the way the money compounds, you'll be overwhelmed. Even if you win and you take home, like, I don't know, $400, $500 million, you're going to be getting like another $7 or $8 million every single month, just compounded interest and the value of your assets going up. You are overwhelmed by money. It's insane. It really, really is. I think I'd give it away. I'd give a lot of money away. Nah, I don't know.
Socialist.
I'd be a good rich person because I would just walk around like the 3rd Street Market Hall and just see a person and just like start a little small talk conversation with them. Be like, hey, what's your account number and your routing number? Check your account at 5 o'clock. And I just give them like 300,000. Everything is just, it's screwed up. There's no rules anymore. There's no order anymore. Here's one of the things that I've noticed about being an old person. I am not moved by peer pressure at all. I am very comfortable, in fact, more comfortable sometimes saying no to something and turning something down or turning someone down or turning an opportunity down. I'm more comfortable saying no than I am saying yes. Because for a long time, I was like, oh, yeah, sure. If you invite me, I'll go. Oh, sure. You want me to speak at your engagement for free? Oh, yes, I'll do that. Oh, you want me to do here and go here and stay late? Oh, yes, I'll do all that. Nope, not anymore. I am not moved by anything that is outside of my central value system. And a part of growing up and getting older is you're trying to figure out, like, really who you are. What is my value system? Do I want to be like these people when they tell me what to do? Am I going to listen to them? Do I listen to myself? Like, what do you do? So now I know who I am, right? And I am at a point right now where, and this is tough for me, if I believe in democratic policies because the history of progress that they have made, have they been perfect? Of course not. Nothing in America is perfect. No person is perfect. No politician, no policy is perfect. No campaign is going to be perfect. But by and large, over a period of time, there are one political party's policies that have worked better for folks like us than the other parties. Very, very simple. I am now forced to, because of peer pressure, if I still want to continue anything that looks remotely close to democratic policies, I can't even be a Democrat anymore. I got to vote for a Democratic Socialist. I got a problem with that. I'm also not going to join in the chorus of people. Well, sure, when everybody else is supporting, friend, you got to do better than that with me. Now, I don't care what everybody else is doing. Public is stupid sometimes. Sorry, They do stupid stuff. Not just going to join in. I need reasons. I need proof. I need the verification. And if I'm not getting it, I can't just resign to the fact that, oh, well, Fran's going to win. I might as well join her. No. That's not what this is. I noticed something in Mandela's video that he released yesterday after he said he had a difficult conversation with his staff. He said, it's obvious. I'm going to paraphrase. He's like, it's obvious or it's clear who our nominee is going to be. I want you to read between the lines. And if you can't read between the lines, let me demystify it for you. He still took a shot at David Crowley. 34% of the people are still undecided. And for him to say as his parting shot, this is his goodbye video. And I believe that the video that Mandela released yesterday, that is the end of his political career. Because if dude comes back to run for something, his next campaign, his next candidacy is going to start with the reason why he went out of the governor's race. And it's going to be the thotting and the women. Because those stories don't go away. It made national news. I got a story in the New York Times right here. Now, I can't read it because I'm not a paid New York Times subscriber anymore. It just wasn't worth it for me. I don't want to pay for because I'd only read like one or two. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. This arena is not what it used to be. It's tough. It's unforgiving. It's relentless. People will lie on you. They will make things up. And sometimes the most egregious lies that someone will make up about you are the ones that stick. And if you are a black man, you can accuse a black man of anything. And the first inclination is that we did it. And it's too much to ask of someone to want to run for office and to be subjected to that, not just during the campaign, but every day. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Looking for a place to shop that offers a fair market price? You need to visit Century Food Store on 92nd and Lisbon Avenue. This week, buy Vanderkemp fish sticks or fillets for $4.99. St. Louis style ribs for $2.49 a pound. Seedless watermelon for $3.99 each. Essential everyday butter quarters, 2 for $5. Frito-Lay Lays or kettle cooked chips, munchies or rose gold pretzels, 2 for $5. And cherry pie for $5.99. So what you waiting for? You can also order groceries through DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Instacart, or stop by Century Foods at 92nd and Lisbon Avenue today.
Black Arts Fest MKE is back and bigger than ever. Come out Saturday, August 1st at the Summerfest grounds for a full day celebrating Black culture, African heritage, music, art, fashion, food, and family fun. Enjoy live performances from Big E, Hollywood the Classic, Cold Drink, MJ, Star Red, the Lattimore Brothers, and don't miss the headliner, Dave Hollister. Celebrate the foundations of hip-hop with the legendary Boogaloo Shrimp, a.k.a. Turbo from Break It, the Divine Nine Party, a Michael Jackson tribute by Brew City Soul, a gospel music celebration, and the Black Hollywood Experience featuring Jamal Gravy Woolard and Benzino. Compete in the culture contest with a $500 cash prize awarded in the categories of African heritage hairstyles, fashion design, and fine art. Bring the whole family for horse rides, the Kid Zone, a Corvette car and bike show, and more. Tickets are on sale now, plus there are discounts for seniors and youth. Credentialed veterans and kids 7 and under are free. Black Arts Fest MKE, Saturday, August 1st at the Summerfest grounds. Get your tickets now at blackartsfestmke.com. And for more info, follow Black Arts Fest MKE on Facebook.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
'Cause remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Locked and Lovely says, did Mr. Barnes fail the ID of one of his dating companions to see if she was of legal age? I don't even know why you would insinuate that. Mandela Barnes didn't sleep with no children. That's insane, because if he did, he'd be arrested. No, he don't. These were grown-ass women. But here's the thing. Sometimes it's just as bad, because an immature woman can act as if she is a kid. I mean, let me give you a little word of caution for men out there. Fella, if you sleep with a woman and she changes her mind, you're fighting rape allegations, buddy. Period. Oh, I was drunk. I didn't know what I was doing. At the time, a woman, I need y'all to listen now. She may have consented. Both of y'all was drinking. You might have been drinking all night. Y'all may have been on a date. Got a little bit too drunk. Things got hot and heavy. In the moment, it's fun. You're not thinking nothing is nefarious or wrong. She might be advancing on you. She wakes up in the morning, realizes she shouldn't have done that. She feels bad. Oh, my God, I can't believe you took advantage of me. You're fighting off a sexual assault allegation that you will never get out from underneath. Or here's the real one. Her husband found out. Yeah, that's right. Her husband found out that she was slutting around, and now she'll say, I didn't consent. It's not even worth it when you think about it. Some of the biggest regrets I bet men have is accepting the advances of a woman, because if she decides to change her mind, or if it gets out and people find out about it and it damages her reputation, you have got to defend yourself against something that you believe was actually a great night. It ain't worth it. But no, there's not a single allegation that he was involving himself with underage women, and I almost resent that people are going to default to that. The story is bad enough. Let's not add in another element that's just made up out of thin air, because you know that this story would be totally different if it was a high school girl or an 8th grader that he was involved with. These were grown-ass women. And he was known to go to, like, college dem meetings all throughout the state at the UW campuses, because he's the lieutenant governor. That's what you do. You go and give speeches, and you encourage young Democrats, and you tell them what it's like to be lieutenant governor, and you give them, ideas and pointers in case they want to run for office one day. That's one of the things that you do as a lieutenant governor, as a Democrat. You promote the Democratic Party, and you work with young people who are getting their start in politics. Being on a college campus as a grown man is a bit of a calculated risk, because they may invite you to a party. Hey, Mr. Lieutenant Governor, we're having a little get-together at somebody's house, or we're going to this bar after the meeting. You want to come and have a drink with us? I can see Mandela be like, yeah, I'll come have a drink with y'all. I'll come kick it with y'all. Let y'all kick it with the Lieutenant Governor for a minute. I could totally see him or any other man doing that. And then one of those women that happens to be there gets a little handsy and gets a little frisky, and then she says, hey, Mandela, my roommate's out of town. You want to go back to my place? I could see Mandela saying, yeah, I'll come back with you. Have us a little nightcap, have us a little Netflix and chilly chill. And then he goes back, and they're hanging out. Remember, this started as him just, and I'm making this up, but I'm just showing you just how easy these situations are to give consent, because she was going through something in her personal life, and she slept with him, and she regrets it. That makes him look bad. Like, men are supposed to be clairvoyant and know and understand that woman's mental state at the time, but also keep in mind how she may change her mind at some point in the future. And guess what? As a man, you're responsible for that too. It's not worth it. Stuff like that makes me think that I need to stay married. You know what I mean? Because then I have my wife to worry about. But then here's what's crazy with being a husband. You don't thought really around with your wife anymore. In fact, sex becomes a chore.
Depending on your relationship. You never heard of open marriages or
that ain't a marriage.
Swingers?
That's not.
Seem like some of the happiest couples.
No, they aren't. They're so miserable. What I have seen in that lifestyle, and trust me when I tell you, there are people in this city of tremendous prominence who are absolutely in that lifestyle. It's very secretive. It's also classist too, and racist. When black people are invited into that lifestyle, it's weird. It's cultish almost. Because you got to be a certain kind of human being to allow your spouse to sleep with somebody else. When black people are brought in, it's to fetishize them. So it's really weird. It's a very unusual kind of lifestyle, and it's not for everybody. Not recommended. But more often than not, it's a man who he might have like a lot of money. He has something to offer, but he may not be all that attractive. But he has a really, really hot wife, like really super attractive. Like you look at the two of them and you wonder, like, oh, sir, how did you get her? I'm gonna tell you why. Because it's the women more often than the men. Because a man can't just bring up to a woman, hey, wife, I want to sleep with other women. Most women are going to be like, hell no. But a woman may say, hey, I would like to introduce a third into our marriage, because the women have to give the consent, right? And a lot of times these below average looking men, but maybe they have a lot of money, they got a big house or whatever, they got some kind of status, in order to keep their very attractive wife, which is a status symbol, especially for a fat guy. If you're a fat, ugly guy and you got a hot wife, you get some respect, because even other men will be like, yo, congratulations. We congratulate men on the hotness of their wives. But she may say, hey, if you want to keep me, you got to let me sleep with other people. And that's the genesis of like probably 50% of the people that swing and do wife swapping. It's the wife that says, I'm not going to be sexually pleased and satisfied by you because you're a fat slob, but I'll stay with you and I'll make you look good and I'll give you the status of being with an attractive woman if you let me, your wife, sleep with these other people. And most dudes will be like, yeah, I guess so. I went to a party once just to observe. It was weird.
How so?
Because I saw how it worked. It was not it. I didn't participate, if you guys are asking, but I have an inquisitive temperament, and I was invited. And I put it on my journalism hat. I was like, let me see what this lifestyle is like. And it was a lot of men. So the husbands whose wives are very active and engaged in the lifestyle, the husbands would kind of be like standing all together, watching their wives get played with by other men and by other women. And the guys weren't very participatory. They were just watching their women be passed around and fondled. I was like, this is nuts. And if that was my woman, I wouldn't want her after that. I'm like, stay here. I'm not taking you back with me. You belong to the streets.
They might like that.
Yeah, I'm too old and too mature. Like, I don't need that. In fact, if a woman is talking to a bunch of men, yeah, not interested. I want her to be focused on like herself, her life, her career, whatever family she has, and then me. Not all of those things plus 17 other dudes. I'm not taking that away from her, but just, I don't want you. You know what I mean? If you got fingerprints on you from last night's dude, don't come.
Yeah, it's just your turn.
Yeah, I don't like that. And, it's a Ferris wheel. To be in the dating world is to share a person, man or woman, with a whole bunch of other people. And sometimes the Ferris wheel is very, very fun, but eventually you get dizzy. I just want to be on the ground. Just me and my old lady. And at night, she rubs my belly. I rub her corns and her bunions, and we just laugh and fart.
Oh, so now you're looking for a wife now?
I already got one.
Oh.
Why y'all keep forgetting them?
Oh, yeah, I forgot that you and Miss Linda
No!
Oh. No?
Linda's ruined a lot of my relationships.
Really?
Oh, man, the stuff that she says. So if I'm dating somebody, I never tell women what I do. I hate it. I don't want to, because there's a whole bunch of expectations. And so let's say they tune in and I tell them not to. If you know me personally, that's one thing. Don't listen to the radio show, because you are eavesdropping on a conversation that I am having with people that I've been talking to for years. So you may feel like an outsider. Don't listen. But they listen anyway. There was one particular woman I was dating, and I liked her. Well, Linda, this was a couple years ago. Linda called in and was in rare form. I mean, Linda was on one. Talk about, oh, Sherwin, remember when you were in my bedroom? She was just making stuff up. And the woman that I was dating heard that. So I went to commercial break, and my phone just blew up. Because not only did Linda say, and it was funny, right? When you guys listen to Linda say stuff, it's hilarious. But to someone that thinks that Linda was being honest, it was hurtful, because my girlfriend was like, yo, she said that stuff on the air, bro. Like, the whole world heard that. You making me look stupid. I was like, well, what happened was, but and Linda and I actually got into it on one of my podcasts. She's like, Sherwin, that's those problems of those women. That's their problem. That's not my problem. I said, but Linda, you got to stop it now. You're cock blocking. Can I say cock blocking?
Yeah, you just did, I guess.
Damn. All right.
I mean, I just tell them it's all entertainment. You know, my parents listen to the show sometimes, and hey, Father, this is just entertainment.
Oh, my mother has gotten furious.
I'm not serious. I don't do all these things, Father.
But I'm also a middle-aged man. I think my mother still sees me as her firstborn boy. Like, I'm half dead. Like, I'm old. Like, I have seen more sunrises than I am. Like, I've seen the majority of the sunrises in my life, right? So there's going to be less and less. My mother was like, I can't believe you said that. I'm like, Emma, you shouldn't be listening. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
In Milwaukee County, equity means making sure everyone has a real chance to thrive. That's why the Milwaukee County Office of Equity works to help remove barriers, strengthen community connections, and support fair access to opportunities across Milwaukee County. Want to learn what they do, explore resources, or find ways to get involved? Just search Milwaukee County Office of Equity online. Milwaukee County Office of Equity, advancing equity for all Milwaukee County residents. For more information, search Milwaukee County Office of Equity online.
Join the Milton House Museum for an extraordinary celebration of history, heritage, and freedom on September 26th at 7 p.m. at Janesville Performing Arts Center. This special evening features Grammy Award-winning Fisk Jubilee singers from Nashville, a legendary ensemble having preserved the powerful legacy of African American spirituals, carrying songs of faith, resilience, and hope to audiences around the world. Opening the evening is the dynamic Kofi Dance Company. Don't miss this unforgettable evening supporting the Milton House Museum. Tickets available at miltonhouse.org.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We gotta make moves and make them early. Set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up and stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things.
Start building your retirement plan at thisispretirement.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
For 75 years, the Muscular Dystrophy Association's voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
For 75 years, we've willed the impossible into existence.
For 75 years, the MDA community has pushed the science,
shifted the narrative, and established the field of neuromuscular medicine.
And until that day when this is all a thing of the past,
you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
You can't buy a best friend. You can love them, walk them, pet them, and care for them, whether they want you to or not. You can take a picture or 50. You can fly to the moon, travel the world, or just stay in bed. You can't buy a best friend like that, but you can adopt one. There are millions of pets waiting for a best friend just like you. Help us save them all at bestfriends.org.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Democratic Party of Wisconsin officials in 2025 hired an outside law firm to review allegations of inappropriate behavior involving young adult women. Can I stop right there? What? She's an adult. That makes me sick. Why are you infantilizing grown women? See what they do? And that's not fair. That's not fair to him. Now, y'all know I don't agree with Mandela and some of the damn political decisions he made, but this is foul. Young adult women. So when a woman is an adult, which she's still not quite an adult yet, she's a young adult woman. I thought that women matured faster than us. Didn't they? Isn't that what it is?
Yes.
They talk faster, like earlier. They walk earlier, like they're more mature. But all of a sudden, when a woman becomes an adult, if she's a young adult woman, then she's still kind of a kid and she's not able to make her own decisions. I thought that mothers and single mothers can rule whole households, and they are the matriarchs of our families and our communities. But for some reason, see, this is the stuff that I don't like. This is just foul. Democratic Party of Wisconsin officials in 2025 hired an outside law firm to review allegations of inappropriate behavior involving young adult women. against one of the party's stars, Mandela Barnes. The party launched the probe after an anonymous person sent a letter first to then party chairman Ben Wickler in 2024, accusing the party of turning a blind eye to the, quote, egregious way Barnes has used his office and power to gain access to women, according to a person familiar with the party's response to the letter. If you are a man of status and women are naturally attracted to you, is that just one of the benefits that comes with being a superstar and a person of status? Or are you using your position to get women? I'm not really sure what it is. If you're an NBA player, a Major League Baseball player, if you're an NFL player and you get a lot of women and women are attracted to you and women are groupies and women try to get into your hotel room, are you using your status as an NFL player to get women? Did Michael Jackson use his status to have all these screaming women? I'm only in this just to get the hoes. Hee. It's a catch-22. There's things that we know as men. In order to have access to really any kind of a woman, you have to be something. You have to have something, money, status, good reputation, fame, or they will not want you. There's this terrible mismatch, especially in the online dating world, which is just stupid. But it's something like 10% of the men on these online dating sites are getting 90% of the action, the traction, and the interaction from the women. So there's a whole 90% of men whose messages won't even get responded to because they're not enough, they're not attractive enough, et cetera, et cetera. So women will choose, they're hypergamous. They want the best man they can possibly get. And here's what's crazy. This is nature. It really is. They're hypergamous, and it's not a bad thing. If a woman is with a guy and all of a sudden he's not what he says he is, he can't keep a job, he's a liability, he's lazy, he doesn't help around the house, and she may be married to this guy, she'll find somebody else. She'll find somebody better. Why wouldn't she? And actually, when she does it, we take her side. And so if women want the absolute best man they can possibly get, the tallest, the richest, the most famous, you have to, as a man, you have to be something. And then when let's say you are a man, you get in the gym and you're working on your body, you're working on your fitness and you're eating right, and you went back to school and you started a business maybe, and you got a nice job and you got a nice house, you have all of these things. You are showcasing that you have a whole bunch of resources. Women will come to you. We're back when you was broke and fat. You had to beg, you had to pay for women. Now women will throw themselves at you, and then you think like, oh, this is actually a part of all the work that I have done on myself that nobody has seen. I use another sports analogy, right? Some of these NBA players, they're in the gym at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. They're working on that jump shot. They're working on that layup. They're working on that defense. And then when they get out on the court during the season, they are superstars. Nobody saw all the work that they did to arrive at that point. And when you arrive at that point where you're incredibly successful and you're leading and you're a superstar, women come along with that. And most men will be like, oh, this is the dividends that I receive, the additional profit that I receive on working on myself, working on my skill set, and working really hard to become a star. But it's a catch-22 because any one of those women that you may think is just a natural part of your success will turn on you in a second. And now you have to defend yourself against something that you thought was just a natural part of your success. Again, it's not worth it. Ben Wickler was one of several within Democratic circles to receive the letter. I got a copy of that letter, and it looked fake. It was sent to me months ago, and I didn't give it any airtime whatsoever because it looked just fabricated and made up. And it was just a grown woman complaining about she slept with Mandela or something, and like, I don't know, he didn't call her afterwards. It just seemed petty. Like, I'm not bringing this up. You know how much dirt they send me, y'all? You know how much dirt? Like, if somebody wants to hurt somebody else's reputation, they think if they send me the story or the screenshot that I'm going to use my platform to destroy somebody else's reputation. You know, when my career first started, you know who I was hearing from? A lot of disgruntled men who got played by their baby mamas, and they wanted to come on the show or they wanted to call in so they could destroy their baby mama's reputation. It's the craziest thing ever. I'm like, get out of here with that. Work that out with her. I'm not putting you on the air so you can tell your side of the story in a custody case, sir. But that's what people do. So I've received, you name it, from all sorts of people, especially in political seasons, like, ooh, Sherwin, bring this up about Kelda or about Joel. I will do no such thing because some of that stuff is just made up. Like, we have to wade through all of this BS. That's why I want this damn election to be over. Well, this hour is over. I'm going to take a break and come back for hour two. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. We'll be back in a couple of minutes.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Natural gas is a clean, reliable, and convenient source of energy delivered directly to you through underground pipelines. The pipeline system has an excellent safety record, but there are clues that can help you identify a potential hazard. If you smell the strong odor of rotten eggs, hear an unusual hissing sound, or see blowing dirt or debris, it could be a natural gas leak. Leave the area immediately and call We Energies at 800-261-5325.
We Energies. People you can trust. Energy you can depend on.
Talking about guns with others might not always feel comfortable, but it could save a life. Here's a way to start a conversation. Your family is going over to your neighbor's home for dinner for the first time. How would you ask if there are any unlocked guns in the home?
Hey, we're so excited for tonight. Before we come over, though, may I ask if there are any unlocked guns in your home?
Our guns are stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access.
Awesome.
Learn how to have the conversation at agreetoagree.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Wherever there's a need in our communities, there's a United Way, improving lives so everyone can thrive. Where more people can gain access to health care and nutritious food for their tables. Where more community members can benefit from financial education and get connected to local resources for housing support. And where children are given more chances to reach their full potential. Community is where we find our strength and where we share our hope. United is the way. Visit unitedway.org.
Are people around me safe when I vape? Science does not support that belief. Exhaled vape emissions linger in the air, affecting indoor air quality and bystanders in the same space through secondhand exposure. Vaping emissions can also accumulate on clothes, hair, dust, and furniture, leading to exposure risks to bystanders of all ages. And vaping around a pregnant person can lead to serious health impacts on fetal and childhood development. Enough with the puff. Learn more at ul.org/vaping.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Milwaukee Black Talk lives here on 1017 FM and 1510 AM, W269DL Milwaukee, and WGKB Waukesha.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to hour two of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. I guess I took the better part of the first hour of the show to give some extraordinary detail about the latest unfolding, latest shock to the Wisconsin Democratic primary, Mandela Barnes dropping out of the race, and it really all started with an off-color but par for the course comment that I made. But they need a lot of order in the studio because there's a lot of chaos going on in the morning show. So I did not think that within 45 minutes of me getting off of the air yesterday that a bunch of things were brewing in the Democratic primary. I posted on Twitter the information that I was receiving. And when I get information from certain people, it's usually really, really credible. And I take it as gospel because more often than not, these folks are correct. They're deeper inside than I am. And I got a message saying that Joel Brennan was going to drop out of the race and endorse Kelda. At the same time, I also heard shortly afterwards, so that was what I heard first, that Joel was going to drop out, which is plausible because Joel is at 2%. And him endorsing Kelda doesn't shock me, because why wouldn't Joel want to thumb his nose at Tony Evers, who, when Joel was on the program with me, I don't know, last week I think it was, he said, hell yeah, I'm mad that Tony Evers endorsed David Crowley, because Tony Evers picked Joel Brennan to be his number 2, to lead the Department of Administration. In state government, the Department of Administration is everything. Basically leads the entire executive branch of state government. So who you pick to be your Department of Administration director, and of course they have to get approved by the Wisconsin State Senate. That is about the highest position that you can give to somebody in state government. So of course Joel would be angry. And also Joel was there working with Governor Evers during COVID to get all the COVID masks distributed and all the resources that were received from the federal government, all the ARPA dollars. And Joel also was very instrumental in helping shape and create the policies that gave us the $2.5 billion surplus that we have right now. So, of course, Joel would be angry. So it wasn't far-fetched, especially in this primary. Anything has happened. I mean, think about it. Sarah Rodriguez lost $2 million. She gets out the race. David Crowley gets out the race, who had $300,000. Then he gets back in the race with Tony Evers' endorsement, which I have to express to you is very rare for an incumbent elected official to endorse somebody in a primary. Really, the only people that do that is Trump. Trump will tip the scales for a candidate in a primary. Instead of letting Republican voters narrow the field down, Trump will say, no, I'm supporting and endorsing this person. And a lot of times that person that Trump endorses advances to the general election. So that's not very typical. And Tony Evers is not overly political. He doesn't go on talk shows and rant, and he doesn't go out of his way to beat up on Republicans. If Tony Evers beats up on Republicans, it's because he does not like a policy or a proposal or a funding mechanism that Republicans come up with. He doesn't really go after people personally. In fact, I don't know if I've ever heard him go after people personally. So it's very unusual. So then David Crowley gets back in the race and has got the governor's endorsement. And then the Mandela Barnes thing. And even he said in his video, should we play it? I could play it. You know what I hate, Xavier? I hate when hosts, like, they put producers on the spot. I wish y'all didn't do that. Hey, producer, can you go find that clip? Can you go search the internet, producer, and go find this thing for me? I like to have my own clips, you know what I mean? Because I can play my own stuff over here. The only thing I can't do is I can't play video. When I do my evening broadcast on Hughes Views 414 on YouTube, I play all my own videos because it's easier that way. But I don't ever do that. I hear a lot of, and maybe I shouldn't be talking about my hosts, but I'd rather you as a producer to do like post-production stuff and do all the stuff that I don't want to be burdened with instead of having to find stuff for me. But I feel like this is an exceptional case.
Found it.
You had a video? Should we watch it? I want to kind of chop it up a little bit because Mandela Barnes still thumbs his nose at quote unquote the establishment, which I disagreed with him on the use of the term establishment because they're changing the meaning of it. Establishment is not bad. And also Mandela Barnes got elected being a part of that establishment. The establishment encouraged him to run against State Senator Lena Taylor 10 years ago. The establishment was behind him when he ran against Ron Johnson for a U.S. Senate seat in 2022. And how do I know? Because Kamala Harris endorsed the hell out of Mandela Barnes. I actually won an award for my interview, one of my interviews with Kamala Harris, and I think it was the one where she was giving her endorsement to Mandela Barnes. So let's be clear. Can we be clear about something? Y'all going to get mad at me for this. But you know when they say the award-winning 1017 The Truth, I'm the only one here that won an award. I'm like, it's just me. I'm the only one. Just me. So thank you, but that's why I don't say it. I don't say the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I can be like, oh, Sherwin won. I got a bunch of second places. You know who I would lose to? I've lost to Dr. Ken and Tori, like for show of the year or large market radio show of the year. And after that, I was like, don't even enter my name no more. Because I used to get mad at us. So the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association Awards, even though none of you are asking for this, I feel compelled to tell you. So you have to submit clips of shows that you want to be considered for awards from the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association. And I made some bangers over the years. I made some shows. I was like, wow, I'm proud that I put that show out there. That was a really good show. And so what I thought, and I'm very hard on myself. I think most of these shows that I do, I can take them or leave them. Some shows suck. If you guys don't know that, you guys don't think they suck. Well, maybe you do. But there's some days I'm like, oof, glad that's over. Go get them tomorrow, Tiger. We had a bad show today. We'll go do better tomorrow. That's why I don't really beat myself up that much over a bad show, because I'll just say to myself, oh, we'll do better. We'll do better tomorrow. So what I had them submit on my behalf were some of my segments where I just punched through. You know what I mean? Like I made some dynamic points and everything was on target. And I wouldn't even place. Like I wouldn't even get third place for some of those. But then you know what else they would do is they would enter myself, Tori, and Dr. Ken in the same category. Why would you do that? Dr. Ken won Radio Show of the Year. He ain't never letting that go. I was Radio Show of the Year. One year. I'm Radio Show of the Year forever. I don't even know how it happened. But I also realized that there was a bias toward more conservative commentary. And whoever judges the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association Awards, and they don't like me anyway, so I don't have to I'm not going to kiss their ass because they have denied me what I thought were really, really good shows. They didn't even place. I think it's rigged. I don't know. Oh, well, no, sure. When they send the shows out to people in other states and they listen to them, whatever. Don't nobody really know what that process is. All right, Xavier, do you have the announcements, the farewell, if you will?
All the news class videos I'm pulling up, they're talking over him as he's, dropping out.
There's the one he posted on Twitter.
Twitter, okay.
That's the one where it's just him. The audio is bad because he's in like an echoey environment. But at the very end of the video that he released on his Twitter page, he says, oh, we know who our nominee is going to be. And maybe we do. Maybe Francesca is so far ahead that nobody can catch her. But for him to say that, it sounds like that's a coveted, I shouldn't say coveted, covert, better word, endorsements of her. But now in the grand scheme of things, do you really want Mandela Barnes' endorsement right now? That's toxic. Even though I'm not beating up on the dude because I think that he got railroaded. I also know that he knew that these allegations were out there and he didn't get out ahead of it, because that's all you got to do. If you beat the media to the punch, you steal their thunder, because the stories that they can write and the words that they can use can really destroy your reputation. Like the words they used in this story right here where they're talking about young adult women. Young adult, like adult is adult. Oh, Sherwin Hughes was a young adult man. He was not capable of giving consent. What, a young adult man? You're an adult or you're not an adult? Young adult still implies that you are of consenting age. Now, I know this is the other thing. I don't know where this came from. But for some reason, if a woman is 18 and a man is, let's say, 35 or 40, she's just a baby. She's just a kid. She's only 18. She can go to war. She can vote. She can start a business. She can get a loan. She can sign a contract. She is an adult. And she, at 18, is probably more mature than some men at 40. But for some reason, and you know what it usually is? It's usually old women that wish that they were 18. They get mad when an 18-year-old woman who's still perky is getting attention from men. It's just a weird world that we live in. And since I'm throwing shots at women, never a smart thing to do. Oh, ladies, I love you so very much. I can't live without you. I've seen those social media videos where they ask a group of women, could you ever live on a planet without men? And they all unequivocally say yes. And then they ask a group of men, just random men, could you ever live on a planet without women? And we say unequivocally no. If it was a planet full of women, y'all would scratch each other's eyes out. And plus, who would rebuild the roads and the bridges and do the plumbing and do the electricity and do the HVAC? Y'all would go nuts. Who would dig the ditches and dig the graves? Who would build the skyscrapers? Who would do all of the things? Who would cook? Y'all don't cook anymore. Let me know when you had a video, Xavier. Man, I could just pull the audio up myself. You know what? You got it. Or you can just go grab it from Hughes Views.
I got it.
All right. Let's take a look at it. Let's take a listen. This is Mandela's bye-bye video.
I had a very difficult conversation with my staff. Now, we're incredibly proud of all the things that we've accomplished and all the resources that we have raised to spread our message. But it's become very clear who our nominee is going to be. Now, I said from the very beginning when I launched this campaign that the #1 goal was taking on and defeating Tom Tiffany to deliver big wins for Democrats up and down the ticket. And now it's our time to come together, to focus our efforts on that one goal. We have to do everything to beat Tom Tiffany. This is life or death for Wisconsinites who are losing their health care under a Trump administration, people who can't afford child care, the folks who are being squeezed by bills while the rich continue to get richer. Now, I got in this race because we're living in a rigged system. The rich are getting richer while the rest of us are left scrambling for crumbs. I know this firsthand. That's why I've always fought for better, as a legislator, as an organizer, as a lieutenant governor. Now, while I may be suspending this campaign, I'll never give up my fight for Wisconsin. And I'm incredibly grateful for all the folks who joined this campaign, for the people who believed in me and this movement, knew that we had a real shot at creating opportunities through bold action to improve quality of life for every single person that calls this place home. Now, we have to do everything we possibly can to defeat Tom Tiffany. And that's exactly what I'm committed to doing for the next 96 days. Last night, I had a very difficult conversation with my staff.
Former Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes has ended his campaign for governor. The decision by Barnes came amid reporting by the Journal Sentinel into allegations that Barnes was taking advantage of his role in the party to have sexual encounters with young adult women. The Journal Sentinel is continuing to report the story. The state Democratic Party in 2025 hired a law firm to look into similar claims sent in a letter, but the allegations they received were anonymous and unspecific. They should have just ended it right there. Why would the party even do that? Why wouldn't they just pull them aside and be like, Mandela, there's some stuff floating around that if you become the nominee, we're going to have to explain it, and that's going to be tough, and the Republicans are going to use it against you. Maybe you should chill out. Like, that's how that's supposed to go. None of these things are supposed to come to light, especially if it's anonymous, because I received that. I almost want to read it to you, but somebody will take it seriously. It's like, I didn't feel comfortable, but we were together, and then I went out with him again afterwards. It's just insane. They're trying to assassinate the man's character, but also, you know how the game works. The game is that dirty. If you put your hat into the ring and you offer yourself as a candidate, you have to be responsible for everything you've ever done and you have ever said, or you got to be able to explain your way out of it. Here's the hard part. You have to be responsible for things that you have done, maybe even to other people that you don't even remember. So you have to now go on the defensive to explain somebody else's memory of you. You may have no recollection whatsoever of that night or of what transpired. You literally just don't remember. You can't remember everything. But if somebody else that you don't even remember, if they recall what you did or what you said, David Crowley had the same thing with his Twitter. Now, David got out ahead of it, a little bit. He explained it. He's like, oh, I didn't write them. Somebody else wrote them. My dead friend wrote them. It's not me. Okay, cool. It was still an embarrassing story because I want who we as African Americans put forth to run for office to be the best representations of our community. I don't like, well, everybody has a background, but for some reason, if you're black, they hyper scrutinize your background. You have to be almost perfect, and nobody is. And I just thought, when the tweets were revealed from David Crowley and others from 2010, I was like, oh, this is terrible. Because it sullies the reputation of the quality of African American leadership. And in a state like Wisconsin, it's really, really tough convincing outstate, up north, Protestant, Catholic, German, Irish, Polish white people that the one that can lead them into the political promised land is a black person who they only believe negative stereotypes about. It's really, really hard to do that. I have also discussed this current political climate as being anti DEI and anti affirmative action, not just because of Donald Trump essentially ending all of those programs, but even a liberal Wisconsin State Supreme Court made unconstitutional a minority scholarship because it, lo and behold, looks at race and looks at the fact that people of color, African Americans in particular, have less opportunity and get less scholarship opportunities, and our schools are underfunded, and we just don't oftentimes get the resources to pay for an ever increasing cost of education. And so looking at those factors and coming up with a scholarship to help what would be really bright students and could be the next, person who discovers the cure for cancer, right? You want to make sure that you give everybody opportunity to achieve higher education. Well, they declared that scholarship unconstitutional. And then you have the conservative organization, the Wisconsin Institute of Law and Liberty, because now they're very conservative, very conservative. They basically sue on behalf of white people that lose opportunities to black people, and they win. And now that because that's what we call the organization, Wisconsin Institute of Law and Liberty, now they have found a friend in a liberal state Supreme Court. They are now suing to get rid of minority opportunities to get government contracts because they don't want it to favor black people. It's the craziest stuff I've ever seen. And in this current political climate where I've been raising the temperature on this too and talking about it more, African Americans are not being outreached to like we have been in previous election cycles. The amount of times that Kamala Harris was here and the amount of workers and organizers sending us text messages and knocking on our doors during previous campaigns, it's noticeable. But in this campaign, it really hasn't been. And so to be in this current political climate where it just seems like people are okay and Democrats are okay not wanting the black vote and trying to find a way to get elected without the burden of all that the black community needs, I find that troubling to say the least, but also even more difficult for a black candidate to get elected. And if you know that you have these things in your background and you don't get out ahead of it, I'm talking about Mandela now, you are adding to an anti-black political climate because it makes him look bad. It does. It makes all of us look bad because he knew. And if you get out ahead of it, that's a calculated risk as well because it's embarrassing and also the other candidates can use it against you. But something that is also very unique about this current political cycle that we are in, they're not really going after each other. Like Francesca Hong has been in the lead consistently and nobody is challenging her. There was a quote unquote debate on Tuesday night where they all were playing nice and they all were agreeing. There's been no back and forth. There's been no mudslinging. And maybe the public gets tired of mudslinging, but if you don't differentiate how you are superior to this candidate, or if you don't expose the platform of another candidate, a competing candidate, as bogus, then you're doing yourself a disservice. Because if she's in the lead and you don't touch her, you don't challenge her on anything. In fact, they've been doing so much agreeing with Francesca Hong, they pedestalized her. Like they put her at the very, very top. Like, oh, I agree with the data centers. Oh, I love what Francesca said. You're competing against this woman. I also believe that in the package that she offers, wouldn't it just be mean-spirited if you went after and attacked Francesca Hong? She's just a little Asian lady.
That's just politics.
It's just that's what I'm saying, Xavier. It's politics. Once you throw your hat in, I don't care if you're a man or a woman, a they or a them, a he or a she, you're going to get some of this smoke. Now, you don't want me to run for office because I'm going to be like, hey, you suck, you're fat, your wife is ugly.
Yeah, you should really check out the Michigan Senate primary. That is really ugly between Haley Stevens and Abdul Syed, another DSA member.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Democrats might as well just surrender to socialism because their party is defunct and is broke. If the Democratic Party, whether it be a county, I want y'all to hear me loud and clear, including those of you that are party faithful. You are losing your party to Democratic Socialists. You deserve to lose it. You deserve it. If you didn't put something together, some rebuilding strategy to prepare for these midterms after Kamala lost, you deserve to lose it to somebody else. I'm not going to have an overwhelming amount of sympathy for a party that can't get its head out of its John Brown hind parts. You deserve to lose it. Francesca coming to take everything from you. I still haven't decided what I'm going to do yet because I'm not a Democratic Socialist.
You're a Democrat.
I am. I'm not a Democratic
You
Socialist.
should have the Democratic nominee.
I'm also a capitalist, and I want my people to have money. I want our people to have assets. I want our people to be able to invest. I want our people to be rich. I want black people to deal with part of our problems by getting rich. And then once we get rich, I'm not going to have my people become the villains. We're tired of being the villains. Black folks are villains when they are poor, and then with democratic socialism, you'll be a villain if you're rich. Well, then I take the rich villain every single time. I put on a damn cape.
Yeah, but when you talk about the rich, we're talking about, $500 million, couple $1 billion. Not a lot of people are going to make that, that far. I don't think anyone's coming after someone that has a net worth of $2 million, $1 million.
It's all relative because if I come up with a new way to supercharge a microchip where I can make computers even smaller and I can make space travel easier, and if I can make your We Energies bills cheaper with this new microchip, and companies want to buy it from me and they want to make me a billionaire, I'm not no damn villain. I came up with a monster idea and the market went nuts. I didn't do anything nefarious. I didn't kill anybody. I ain't hurting nobody. I had a bomb idea. I tried a bunch of ideas. They all failed, and I struck gold with this idea, and I got rich. I ain't no villain. I'm smart. I did what you're supposed to do. I realized the American dream. You can't make me feel bad because you didn't come up with my idea. You know what it is? It's a bunch of haters. You hate me because I came up with an idea. Then come up with your own idea.
I don't know.
You don't.
I don't think anyone's hating on the rich because one of the top people that are promoting all these DSA members, Hassan Piker, he's a millionaire himself, and no one's coming after him. I think
I don't
we're
like
talking
how
about
they pick and shoot. I'm not getting involved into that. I'm not going to just villainize somebody because they have a whole bunch of money and they're easy targets. And also, they make it seem like, oh, well, we're going to tax all these rich people. You think rich people don't have anything to say about that? You think the rich people are going to say, oh, fine, here you go. Here's my bank account and my routing number. Just take it all because you're a socialist and I don't deserve the money. I'm going to take a break, come back, continue talking. It's Friday today. It's been a long week.
It has.
I'm just going to wing it. It's going to just start just chatting, just talking. Maybe we'll go to the YouTube chat.
I'm ready for the 11th.
Listen to me. I wish they moved. I almost cussed. I wish they moved this election up to the 1st. I wish this was next Tuesday. Tony Evers, with your magic wand, move the election up. I mean, you got 180,000 people that already voted. Half of them probably voted for candidates that's not even in the damn race no more. It's a mess. I want it over with. You mean when we come back? What's Monday? August 2nd?
Yes.
We still got 9 more damn days to the election, so I still got a whole nother week plus Monday and then Tuesday the 11th to talk about this election. And I guarantee you some other scandal is going to drop.
Hopefully not.
You're going to end. I'm pregnant, everybody. Sherwin Hughes is pregnant. This ain't belly. This is baby.
So you're gender fluid now.
Apparently so. I wouldn't be surprised if all of a sudden I found out that I'm ovulating and I'm pregnant. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Educators Credit Union is more than a place to manage your money. They're where your financial possibilities take shape. They're more than transactions. They're conversations about your financial goals. More than numbers, they're community advocates who support free, local events that are accessible to all. They foster community because we are stronger together. Educators Credit Union is people helping people. Become a member at ECU.com. Insured by NCUA. Membership eligibility required.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Reading aloud to children sharpens their listening skills, expands their vocabularies, and nurtures a lifelong love of reading. That's why Reading is Fundamental, the nation's leading children's literacy nonprofit, offers free monthly read-alouds by popular authors through its Rally to Read program. Visit rallytoread.org to watch the read-alouds and discover exciting reading activities for school and home. Visit rallytoread.org today.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
When I met both of them, it was like my missing pieces were found. Like it was just like an instant, these are my kids. If you're considering adopting a teen, just do it. Kids need families. I don't care the age, everybody deserves a family.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome back to the program. Our phone number, if you need it, not sure what you need it for. Well, no, I guess if you want to win a contest or something. Are we giving anything away today, or we've given away all of the
I think we've given away everything.
But it's 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. I asked you a question via the YouTube. Let me check out the poll. Do you think that good old Mandela ended his political career with this latest set of bombshell allegations? But he didn't even do anything illegal. Why is it that if you are a man that is dating, or maybe you happen to get lucky with the ladies, they'll put you on a site, are we dating the same guy? How sad and pathetic are some of y'all? Because men would never, we don't even care. We know that it's just our turn. We're not going to put your face out on one of these damn websites. Guys, are we dating the same girl? And if we are, I don't even want to know. Seriously, I'll play stupid. I played stupid before. I already know. I got a friend right now. I know that if I text her after 9 o'clock and I don't get a response, I already know what she on. I ain't tripping. It is what it is.
It's the game.
It's 100% the game. And sometimes you feel like playing it. Sometimes you don't. But I just don't like this dangerous place that we are getting into, that if you are a man and you are single and women like you, like that's a bad thing.
I think it's more of him possibly looking like he's using his power to get people under him to sleep with him. Like that's the only conflict of interest there. I don't think,
No.
Like him being the lieutenant governor.
He's not sleeping with women in his lieutenant governor's office. He's not getting a bunch of interns from Middleton High School and sleeping with them. And we don't even, these women might be 40 years old. We don't know.
True.
Y'all have any idea how many powerful men have women that they sleep with? And here's the thing. Most women, I got to say this diplomatically, I don't want to call them home wreckers.
They are, though.
That's not fair, though. That's not fair to say that. Some women find it enticing to be with a man that has already been selected by another woman. It's very, very common. Most women will tell you that they have dated married men, and they're not victims in that. They chose the married man. I know that when I wear my wedding ring, the attention I get from women is almost nauseating. I'm like, this is crazy. I went out to eat with, it was me and, I don't want to name names, but a bunch of prominent black dudes. We went to Left's Lucky Town in Wauwatosa, get us some hamburgers. And I'm sitting on the end of the table, and the server came by. She's like, "Oh, I bet you're trouble." I was like, what? She saw my ring. She said, "Oh, I know you're trouble. I just want a hamburger. That's it." She said, "Oh," and she's just like flirting with me.
Trying to get that good tip.
Which tip?
Both.
I mean, no, both are good.
Yeah.
One doesn't last nearly as long as the other, but they're both.
Money goes fast.
It does. Well, so does my other tip.
Hopefully not that
my
fast.
other tip isn't good advice. You guys are a bunch of perverts. Oh, this dude is just, women like him. You know how many women have told me how attractive they think Mandela Barnes is? I don't personally see it. And I can say if a man is handsome, he ain't ugly. But they like him and they throw themselves at him. And if a woman throws themselves at a man and a man is like, okay, I'll accept. Now all of a sudden he's the villain? Like, that's not fair to do that. Young adult women. So let me get this straight. So, okay. Young adult women are not able to consent because they're young and they're not mature and they're not adult. So then don't vote. Can't let them vote then. Can't let them sign contracts. Don't let them sign a lease. Don't let them start a business. No. They're young adult women and they can't consent. So then why are they getting all these other rights in society? Do you see how insane that is? She's young and adult. She made a decision, but she didn't like her decision. Therefore, she shouldn't be held responsible for the decision that she made. I understand regrets. We've all done things. You wake up the next day, you're like, that wasn't the best idea. But you don't then blame the person that you were with while you were making a bad decision. Here's what you do. You say, I just won't do that again. Or next time, I'll go home at 8:30. Or next time, I'll just use a little bit more caution. Or next time, I won't drink as many Tito's and seltzers with a slice of lime. Speaking of Tito's, I think I may have found a new vodka. It's called Wheatley. It's really, really good, but it's not available everywhere. But yeah, I just don't like how someone can say, oh, yeah, I didn't like that I did that. I kind of regret it. Now let me blame the person that was there with me while I made a bad decision. It's like if I have a bad radio show, should I blame Homer Blow? No. I didn't like The Truth with Sherwin Hughes last week, Wednesday. I think it was Bailey Coleman's fault. I'm very Bailey, and then all of a sudden the media is dragging Bailey Coleman because I had a bad radio show. Well, Bailey did the show before me, and Bailey should have helped me do better. Homer should have banged his gavel during my show to get order in the studio. I'm going to take a break. I have a story here about the post office. Do you guys get the wrong mail? I get somebody else's mail once a month, and I wanted to do a little research to see how common it was. The Milwaukee post office has been the subject of numerous audits because of inconsistent mail delivery. So if you guys get inconsistent mail delivery, here's what I want you to do. There's actually a process for it, and you do not call the post office because they do not care. You call your member of Congress. You call Ron Johnson, Tammy Baldwin, or your House of Representatives member. Could be Brian Stile, and it also could be Congresswoman Gwen Moore. They're the ones that pursue complaints against the post office. A lot of folks didn't know that. In fact, when I worked for Congressman Tom Barrett, we had this lady that worked in our office. Her name was Kathy Vigdal. All Kathy did, all she did, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, was address issues with mail in the post office. I received people's checks. I've received people, you know, when somebody gets your credit card in the mail, the letter be thick and you bend it and you can tell it's a credit card in there. If I wasn't the person that I am, you know what I mean? Because they're sending me somebody else's mail.
I actually have a little insight to this.
Let's talk about your insight on the other side. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Doctors Without Borders is delivering life-saving medical care where it's needed most in communities around the world. From bandaging war-wounded patients in Sudan to providing clean drinking water in Haiti, we're in more than 70 countries worldwide, bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from crisis to care. This life-saving care is made possible by a global movement of supporters like you. Thank you.
Mommy, can I sit in the front seat just this one time? Please, please, please.
No, not yet.
But why?
Because I love you, and you're just not ready yet. Now, get in the back so I can get you in your car seat, please.
Putting your kids in the right seat for their age and size is an act of love. Check that your kids are in the right seat at NHTSA.gov/the right seat. Love protects. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
In sitcoms, when someone has a problem, they just blurt it out and move on.
Well, I lost my job and my parakeet is missing. How was your day?
But the real world is different. Managing life's challenges can be overwhelming. So, what do? We get support. The Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council have mental health resources available for you at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. See how much further you can go when you take care of your mental health.
For 250 years, our armed forces have bravely served America. Wounded Warrior Project honors that legacy by supporting post-9/11 service members and veterans like Anthony, a Marine who was injured by a roadside bomb in Afghanistan.
They carried me through my injuries, not just my physical, but my mental. And seeing other vets doing the same thing helped me tell myself, hey, you can do this.
Join us in honoring warriors at woundedwarriorproject.org/America.
In the United States, a vehicle is stolen every 31 seconds, about as long as this message. Luckily, you can take a few easy steps to protect your car in the same amount of time. Remove your valuables, roll up your windows, don't leave your car running unattended, lock your doors, and take your keys or fob. If you have information about a crime, call the police. If you suspect insurance fraud, also call 800-TEL-NICB. A public service message from the National Insurance Crime Bureau.
I always had to be so good, no one could ignore me. Carve my path with data and drive. But some people only see who I am on paper. The paper ceiling, the limitations from degree screens to stereotypes that are holding back over 70 million stars. Workers skilled through alternative routes, rather than a bachelor's degree. It's time for skills to speak for themselves. Find resources for breaking through barriers at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Doing a lot of humping around. There's nothing wrong with that. You gotta be a consensual humper. When you think about it, it's how we all got here. We all got here the same way.
Yeah.
We all got here by, our parents. Woo.
Yuck.
Getting freaky. Well, congratulations, sir. If it wasn't for them getting freaky out, you wouldn't be my producer.
I know, right? Thank you, Dad. Thank you, Mom.
Yep. Mandela Barnes had ran a commercial talking about it was to support women's health care, and his mother was in a commercial saying that she had an abortion. That's such a terrible thing. I wouldn't want to know if my mother had an abortion. Because Mandela's an only child, he should be lucky, because she could have been like, yeah, I don't want this one either. And then we'd have a much easier gubernatorial primary, that's for sure. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about him quite a bit. I actually feel sorry for the guy. I do. Because this is just foul, and it also discourages people from wanting to run for office. Do we talk about the post office now? Maybe that's what we do. You said you had a post office story.
Oh, no. I just, back in the day, about 4 years ago, I did a small stint with the post office as a mail carrier. So I know there's a high turnover rate for mail carriers right now. So probably those people that are getting the bad mail, it's probably like the new carriers getting confused on their routes. And then when you're getting your mail goes back to being consistent, that's probably like your mailman that normally does your route. But sometimes people get confused when they're on a new route or if they're a new carrier, and it can be quite confusing.
Where I live, and it probably is common in the city of Milwaukee, my house number exists on the street east and west of me. So my 4-digit house number of my address exists. So they'll be on the wrong street. So I'll get mail that's supposed to be same house number, but on the street that's to the east of me or to the west of me. And that happens often. And so at least once a month, at least. But I've also not received something. It was a friend of mine she said she mailed me something. She's like, oh, Sherwin, I'm so excited for you to get this thing I mailed you. And I never got it. I even went to the post office and they had no record of it. And I guess they opened up like an investigation looking for a lost piece of mail. And that sucked because I want to be able to trust the mail. But then I also told her, I was like, girl, just bring it to my house. Don't chance it with the mail. But yeah, you're supposed to write or email or call your member of Congress. So either our 2 U.S. senators, Tammy Baldwin actually is a part of an investigation into the post office because this is like a really, really big deal. Because very important things get sent through the mail. And if the mail is not being delivered appropriately or accurately, I've even had carriers come back to my house. Like the mail will come at, I don't know, like let's say noon. But then somebody else will come back at 5 o'clock in the same day and deliver my mail. So if I receive somebody else's mail, I used to just go to their house and just deliver it myself. Because I've tried leaving it in my mailbox. Like, oh, when the letter carrier comes tomorrow, they will see these letters in my mailbox and they will realize they have the wrong address on them. And they then will take them to the right address. No, they don't. They just put my new delivered mail of that day on top of the other mail that was in my mailbox that did not belong to me. And then I would do this thing where I would take the mail out of my mailbox. I'd take a highlighter and I'd highlight the actual address it was supposed to get delivered to and then put it like just outside of my mailbox. They would ignore that too. So then I was like, okay, I'll be a good Samaritan. I'll walk 1 block over and deliver this mail to this other person. But then I realized, you know, you might get shot nowadays walking up to somebody's house unexpected like that. And then in the wintertime, this is another problem that I have. If somebody's steps up to their house are not shoveled and they're covered with ice, I'm not walking up that to deliver your mail. I'm just going to keep it. What you want me to do? You got to shovel the walkway now. That's one thing that I do. I will shovel my walkway. Sometimes I'll prioritize that over cutting my grass. I'm like, I'll let the grass go another couple of days. I'm busy. But no, I get the snow and the ice off on my sidewalk because, first of all, I don't want to fall. And I don't want anybody else to fall. And also, in my neighborhood, we're an unusual sort. I got Francesca Hong yard signs in my neighborhood, and it's a black working-class neighborhood. You never would have suspected. But I think that they had that yard sign because my neighbors across the street have a Francesca Hong yard sign, and it's fake. Like, when I look out the window or step out my front door, that's the first thing I see. I think they did that on purpose. Because she texted me a month or so ago, like, hey, Sherwin, I want to let you know we're going to be in your neighborhood doing doors. She didn't have to do that. Next day, my across the street neighbor had a damn yard sign.
Does she have blue or purple hair?
No, but it's a mixed couple. It's a white lady with a big, strapping black buck as a boyfriend. Such a stereotype. He's such a big black bull.
Oh, I see what you're going. Where you're going?
Where am I going?
Oh, you're going down the swingers route.
I hope not.
You talking about bulls?
Because she's a tiny little white. She's an itty bitty little petite little thing. Like if a good gust of wind came along, almost like a white female version of Bob. You know, Bob don't weigh but 40 pounds. She's just a little idiot. She was out there adjusting the yard sign yesterday because it was crooked. She made sure it was standing at attention. And then every so often, her big black bull, Bronco bull, like an ex-NFL player, big old black field slave looking fella.
How does that make you feel seeing that?
There's actually another mixed couple right next door to them. It's a white woman. She's an MPS teacher, and she's got an athletic-looking black fella.
Yeah, they like them big and strong.
Yes, they do. But it's weird because they're right next to each other. It's 2 mixed couples. But I do love the diversity of my neighborhood. Myself and the Mung family that's 2 doors down, we have been on the block the longest. There was a lady who had been on our block since like the 60s, but she passed away and her kids sold the house. But yeah, myself and then the Mung family. And the Mungs is cool. I was shoveling my snow. This is probably 15 years ago. And I broke my snow shovel. This is before I got a snowblower. I broke my shovel. And so I seen the Mungs. They were shoveling their snow, and I never talked to them before, never met them before. And I walked over, and I said, hey. I showed them my broken shovel. I broke my shovel. Y'all got an extra shovel? And the little Hmong dude was like, yup, it's right here, leaning up against the house. You can use it, but just put it back up against the house when you're done. I was like, bet. We've been friends ever since. The Hmongs keep to themselves. I appreciate them. They don't cause no trouble.
They're nice people.
They really are. They're just Hmong. They're kicking it. They're chilling. Their funerals are a week long. That's an issue, but that's okay. But yeah, they just mung it up. They chill. They all drive Honda Civics. I'm not mad at that. That's a quality vehicle. They're just munging. Nobody wrong. Nobody's accusing you of being a bad person. You're just a mung. They have chickens sometimes. Everybody likes chickens.
Oh, they have chickens in their backyard?
No, not this particular Hmong family, but there's an ordinance in Milwaukee that allows you to have a certain number of chickens, and I think it was one that was supported by the Hmong community. I'm like, that's cool. If you want to have chicken, they save money on eggs.
And they don't have to worry about getting poisoned.
That's true. Organic chickens and organic eggs. But I guess you got to have a chicken just for the eggs because you can only eat it once. So if you got 2 chickens, that's only 2 dinners.
Well, yeah, they keep popping out the eggs. The baby's born, you let them grow up a little bit, and then you kill them, and then, the cycle repeats.
It's kind of a graphic way to explain that, but okay. Can we take a break now? This show is just flying by, and I'm talking about nothing.
Yeah, we're talking about a lot of great things, actually, today. This is going to be the best of.
Today?
Yeah, this is one of the best shows this week.
I put together, I can't even remember. Somebody will ask me, oh, Sherwin, what did you talk about today? I have no recollection of what I talked about. I'll talk for 3 hours and won't even remember. I'm like, Al called in. I don't even usually remember what I talk about. But I also hate when people want me to give them a whole 3-hour synopsis. Sherwin, I wasn't able to listen today. Please tell me everything that you discussed. Go to YouTube and watch it. That's what you need to do.
I can send you the rundowns that I send out. That way you know what you talked about each segment.
You still do the rundowns? I know they started that mess with Good Karma Brands where they wanted you producers to send the topics and subject matter of my segments to all the other shows and producers. That's stupid.
Yeah, they're asking for it, so I just got to do it. So I just send it out to Biko every day. Shout out to Biko.
All right, well, do whatever you got to do. But that's the stuff I would rather you be doing as a producer instead of you hunting for videos.
I do it all.
All right, take a break. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on where you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Black Arts Fest MKE is back and bigger than ever. Come out Saturday, August 1st at the Summerfest grounds for a full day celebrating Black culture, African heritage, music, art, fashion, food, and family fun. Enjoy live performances from Big E, Hollywood the Classic, Cold Drink, MJ, Star Red, the Lattimore Brothers, and don't miss the headliner, Dave Hollister. Celebrate the foundations of hip-hop with the legendary Boogaloo Shrimp, a.k.a. Turbo from Break It, the Divine Nine Party, a Michael Jackson tribute by Brew City Soul, a gospel music celebration, and the Black Hollywood Experience featuring Jamal Gravy Woolard and Benzino. Compete in the culture contest with a $500 cash prize awarded in the categories of African heritage hairstyles, fashion design, and fine art. Bring the whole family for horse rides, the Kids Zone, a Corvette car and bike show, and more. Tickets are on sale now, plus there are discounts for seniors and youth. Credentialed veterans and kids 7 and under are free. Black Arts Fest MKE, Saturday, August 1st at the Summerfest grounds. Get your tickets now at blackartsfestmke.com. And for more info, follow Black Arts Fest MKE on Facebook.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is my job is people, everyone is my business. But unfortunately in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jakimick, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide. My service never stops.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
American Family Insurance is a proud sponsor of The Truth. For almost 100 years, they've been committed to helping families protect what matters most: your home, your vehicle, and the dreams you're building every single day. And if you're part of the Truth audience, you already know your hard work is for yours. That's why having the right protection in place matters. American Family helps you stay ready for whatever life brings so you can focus on moving forward. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance. Get a quote or find an agent today at amfam.com. American Family Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, good old Madison, Wisconsin. I'm going to talk about these Office of Inspector General investigations into the Milwaukee Post Office. It's a big deal if you're not getting your mail, or if you are getting the wrong mail, and maybe some of us just see it as a regular old minor inconvenience in life. You really should report that. So this week I received, and I was going to talk about this story. Today's Friday already, probably on Monday or Tuesday, but so much stuff happened in the governor's race that my post office story got sidestepped. So I received somebody else's mail, and again, it was my same house number that I share with a house that's on one street to the east of me. And it was from the tow lot. And I'm thinking to myself, like, this is really important. Like, somebody is getting details about their vehicle that got towed, and maybe the fine that they got, whatever. And it got delivered to me. I mean, I could have thrown it in the garbage, but I was like, no. And I saw the mailman. He was only a couple of houses down. And so I walked outside. Was I wearing pants? I don't think so. I think I was just wearing boxers. And I yelled. I was like, hey, yo. And he looked at me. I held the mail up. And he came back. I was like, brother, you put this mail in my box, and this is not my address. He's like, I got you, dog. I got you. What do you mean you got me? You should get them, the people that need information about their vehicle that got towed. So we're going to start hour 3 with the details of the Tammy Baldwin investigation into the post office, because the city of Milwaukee's main post office, I don't want to talk about it too bad because my parents met there and worked there for 40 years each and retired from the post office. So it provided a great, job and career opportunities for both of my parents, myself and my brother. Both of us are esteemed college graduates. So the post office, I suppose, if you can work there for 40 years of your life, that's something else that is very different between current generations, Gen Z, millennials, Generation X, and the baby boomers that everybody hates. And that's another thing of the Democratic Socialists. I think they hate baby boomers too, just because they got to hate something. If your life sucks because you made a bunch of bad decisions, there's nothing better than just blaming somebody else. But whatever, it's fine. But the baby boomers would just work at a job forever. Forever. And they would just go to work and be miserable and hate all the people, hate their manager. I don't know if current generations of folks put up with that. What I have found, and I think that I am old and experienced enough to share this with great credibility, I have never had a job, and I've had a few now, where I couldn't do the work, or the work was too hard, strenuous, or stressful. It was never the work, ever. And I've had some jobs that did demand a lot of me, maybe not physically. I did have some blue-collar jobs, I suppose, mostly summer jobs when I was in school. But I've had jobs that were very demanding of me mentally, but I still was able to do the work and put together work that I'd be proud of, but it was never the job. It was always the people. working with awful people is just, you can't do it because somebody is going to get hurt. You got to just, I've left jobs because the people are just awful human beings. It's rarely, if ever, the job. It is always the people. Some of y'all working their jobs right now with people you don't like. I'm very fortunate because for the most part, I like everybody here. I may disagree with a bunch of folks, but I still like you. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back for Hour 3.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Milwaukee business owners, this is your moment. Every Friday at 8 a.m., call in to 101.7 The Truth for What the Business Is. Tell us what your business is, where you're located, and one thing you've learned along the way. What the Business is powered by We Energies, delivering the energy that powers local business. Fridays at 8 a.m. on 101.7 The Truth. Fridays at 8 a.m. on 101.7 The Truth.
Looking for a place to shop that offers a fair market price? You need to visit Century Food Store on 92nd and Lisbon Avenue. This week, buy Vanderkamp fish sticks or fillets for $4.99. St. Louis style ribs for $2.49 a pound. Seedless watermelon for $3.99 each. Essential everyday butter quarters, 2 for $5. Frito-Lay Lays or kettle cooked chips, munchies or rose gold pretzels, 2 for $5. And cherry pie for $5.99. So what you waiting for? You can also order groceries through DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Instacart, or stop by Century Foods at 92nd and Lisbon Avenue today.
I'm Sherwin Hughes, and I know the power of Stars and Stripes Honor Flight firsthand. As someone who's been on an honor flight, I can tell you it's a day you'll never forget. Stars and Stripes Honor Flight gives our oldest veterans who served in any location in June of 1975 or earlier a free one-day trip to Washington, D.C. for veterans. Airfare, meals, a coach bus tour, and special flight apparel are all included. It's a day of honor, gratitude, and camaraderie. Veterans who served in the Vietnam or Korean War go to flySSHF.org and ask for an application.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
'Cause remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
When a warrior faces adversity, he fights through it. He finds a way. Freedom isn't free. Rolling strong. Belief. Believe you can, and you will.
Wheelchairs for Warriors provides mobility solutions to veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty. Join the mission and visit wheelchairsforwarriors.org.
Milwaukee Black Talk lives here on 1017 FM and 1510 AM, W269DL Milwaukee, and WGKB Waukesha.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to Hour 3 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. We titled today's program, and then there were four. We are down to four candidates in the Democratic primary for governor, and those four candidates are in no particular order. Wisconsin State Senator Kelda Roys, businessman and former DOA Director Joel Brennan, current Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley, and the unabashed frontrunner, Wisconsin State Assembly Representative Francesca Hong, who is in fact a Democratic socialist. I should sort out how I'm going to handle this last essentially week until the election hits. I do want to encourage everyone to go and cast their votes. You do have a variety of folks to choose from. And maybe you are in the category of undecided. I'm not sure what you will need at this point to make your decision on who to vote for. And then maybe something huge, major, and monumental transpires where all of a sudden these 30+% of undecided people pick a candidate. And if the entirety of the 34% who still remain undecided put their support behind one candidate, that in fact will be the candidate that could potentially win. Maybe they go to Francesca Hong, maybe they go to David Crowley. Who knows? This is really anybody's race. And anyone who is below 50% technically is not going to automatically be named as the winner. So yes, of course, anything can and will happen in this primary. I don't believe that anybody else is going to drop out of the race because now it's a matter of ego. Like I said earlier, I was with a hardcore group of David Crowley supporters last night. We all got together and discussed the news, of course, of the day, which was Mandela Barnes getting out of the race. And I will say this about David's supporters. Their personal connection to him is heartwarming. They love the guy. They really do. They love him so much that I think their deep affection for him clouds their logic. And I have had deep affections for candidates as well, people that you know really well. You know their heart is in a good place, and they're just genuinely really good people. And you want them to do well because they deserve it. But polls, while not 100% accurate, give a really good indication. And I say that because if one candidate is at 48% or if they're at 51%, they could lose on those polls, could be wrong. But if someone is consistently in single digits, it's safe to say that they're not going to win an election by 60%. It is very safe to say. But there's such a deep affection for David that people are ignoring the obvious, and it's also fascinating and kind of ironic because if it's a candidate that they don't like, if it's somebody that they despise, if it's somebody from the opposite party, and if that person that they don't like, that they despise, that they do not have a deep affection for, if that person is polling at 7%, oh, they believe that poll. But when it's the person that we like and the person that we know very well and the person whose heart is in the good place, if they're polling at 7%, oh, those polls are just made up. Remember Hillary Clinton's polls that said she was beating Donald Trump? I have been through so many different elections and election cycles and campaigns and candidates. I have seen this so many times. And being disappointed on election night, it really, really hurts, especially if you go to a watch party. Have you guys ever been to an election night watch party? At the beginning of the night, everybody's so happy. They're optimistic. They're drinking lots of alcohol. It's dangerous. It's a catch-22 when you're consuming alcohol at the beginning of the night at the election night watch party, and there's food. Ooh, you can get full and fat. They got all the hors d'oeuvres. And they got little sandwiches. I love me a little sandwich. I don't know what it is about a little sandwich. Don't get me wrong. Sherwin likes a burger. I do. A big two-handed burger. I like a good Cop's burger. I like a jumbo burger. However, I'll also eat 4 sliders, though, too. So you got all this food and people are drinking and they're optimistic. And, people that work on big campaigns, they oftentimes don't really get together because you might have people that were working exclusively in Milwaukee. And you might have other campaign organizers that were working in Madison, and then some that were working in Marathon County. And, of course, the thoughts of the statewide campaign, they always work in Eau Claire. But then the big watch party will be in Milwaukee. And you have all these people that have worked together over the year of a campaign. They've all emailed each other and texted each other, and they FaceTimed each other. And then they all get together. And it's so jubilant, and it's a happy moment because all the hard work that you put in, you believe is going to pay off. And then you get the announcement that the polls have closed and now all the TVs are on local coverage of the election. And you wait. You wait for that scrolling. I think they call it a chyron. Is that what they call it at the bottom of the screen, Xavier? What do you have the scrolling?
The banner?
But it's got a specific name, though. Maybe it isn't.
I think it's the banner.
I don't know where chyron came from. Now I got to look up chyron now. And you wait for those results, and what'll happen is it'll say 0% reporting, and you don't have any results. And then those first results roll in, and you're down 70% to 30%. But it's okay. It's early. Only 2% reporting. Let's drink. And then people start doing weird math in their heads like, well, that's probably the Manitowoc vote that was counted first, or maybe that was the Sheboygan Falls vote that was counted first, and we knew that we weren't going to win Manitowoc and Sheboygan Falls because those are the places and the spaces whose votes were counted first. We ain't worried about it. And then you see the Marathon County votes are coming in the northeastern part of the state. That's all been counted, and you're down 55 to 45. It's okay. It's only 42% reporting. You still have 58% of the vote that has not yet been counted. And then the bomb drops. Madison reports. And now with only 30% of the vote still outstanding, you are down 61% to 39%. And then all of the celebration and the jubilation of the campaign watch party and all of the food and all of the drinks. And Sherwin is just over there in the corner stuffing his face because I'm an emotional eater. And then, boom, Milwaukee drops because that is where you hope to have caught up to that candidate. You've hoped that the Milwaukee vote was strong and robust, and even though there was only about 30% of the vote outstanding, if all 30% of that vote comes from Milwaukee, because Milwaukee reports slow. You got to wait damn near to the end of the night before Milwaukee gets its act together. But it makes sense. We have a lot of different voting wards and a lot of different municipalities in Milwaukee County, so it takes a little bit longer, and you hold out hope for Milwaukee to report. And lo and behold, the lead has narrowed, but your candidate lost the race. It's so bitter because you worked hard. Working on campaigns sometimes is a 20-hour ordeal. You if you even go home, you get your little nap, and you're right back at it the very next day. It is grueling work, and it's a short period of time. But the amount of hours that you put in organizing and calling and texting and phone calls and emails and dealing with vendors and yard signs and dealing with the press and dealing with the media and dealing with the people that are putting together your television ads and your radio ads and your digital ads, it's grueling work. But it's work that you willingly do because you want to help this individual get elected. And then when they don't win, it is such a letdown. And then, of course, the candidate concedes. You will literally hear people crying because they put so much into it, and to see the candidate that they probably really, really like, they admire. Because you don't work on somebody's campaign if you don't like them. You just don't. You opt not to do it because it's too much hard work. It's too much time away from your friends and your family and your social life to do that kind of labor for someone that you don't like or you don't agree with. And it's grueling. And I want to prevent that feeling because I've been in a ton of losing watch parties. A friend of mine in 2016, he's a known lobbyist, and he's a Republican, but a good dude. This was 10 years ago. He threw a watch party for the presidential election of 2016. He hated Trump. He was a never Trumper. And he invited, there was a bunch of Democrats that were there and all of the people that were there who were Republicans, but they hated Trump. In fact, these were some of the folks that were involved in, because they tried to do a coup with the RNC in 2016 where the never Trumpers tried to introduce a whole bunch of new rules and delegates to stop Donald Trump from getting the nomination. Like, these Republicans knew before the rest of the damn world did. They're like, yo, Trump can't win this because he's worse than you think. And most Republicans are like, he's a businessman. He's an outsider. He's going to shake up Washington. He's going to drain the swamp. These never Trumpers were like, y'all don't understand. We have to stop him. And so a group of never Trumpers threw this. It was a really extravagant party. It was at a place called Mikey's. Mikey's is now closed. Mikey's is where it's a taco joint now called Electric Lime. Electric Lime is on Jefferson right by Taylor's. So that used to be a spot called Mikey's. I liked it better as Mikey's because I don't know. I'm not crazy about Electric Lime's tacos. They're just kind of lackluster, but whatever. I'm digressing. So it was a lot of people there, too. We had food and we were drinking. So it was a watch party thrown by Republicans that are never Trumpers because it was supposed to be the celebration of Hillary Clinton winning. Now, remember, the people that were at this watch party are all Republicans. And when Trump won, they felt it was like being at a losing watch party because they were there to see Trump lose to Hillary. And Hillary was the one that lost. Oh, it was bitter. That was a bad one, too, because all those Republicans that were never Trumpers that knew something the rest of us didn't. We knew that Trump was a slob and a bad politician and a terrible businessman and a bunch of bankruptcies, but we had no idea. Grab him by the hoo-ha. Remember that? All that stuff. And it didn't matter. Trump still won. And the never-Trumpers were more upset than anybody else. And I remember this particular person who threw the party, he was like, Sherwin, you have no idea how bad this is going to be. Lo and behold, 2 years later, Donald Trump has packed the Supreme Court with anti-abortion people, and he's being impeached twice.
I love the poorly educated.
And then he gets elected again in 2024. However, I have been to some winning watch parties. Imagine, I'm just going to try and do the contrast comparison between being at a losing watch party, which is like pure massive depression. People are crying, they're sad, they're hurt, they take it personal, they never want to work in politics again, they hate voters. How could the voters betray us like this? How could we lose? We worked so hard, we had the better message, we had a beautiful campaign, and we lost. It's really, really tough at a losing party, and you go home sad, and you wake up in the morning, and you feel even worse because now the whole world is talking about that contest, and you see the other side, the candidate that you were fighting against, they're giving their victory speech, and they're all happy. Oh, it's an awful, awful feeling, and I try and prevent that as much as possible by going into elections being very realistic. And if the candidate that you like and the candidate that you love is not performing well, please prepare yourself, because if you go into that party unrealistic and think your candidate is going to win and they lose by 30 points, it is a dreadful, dreadful feeling. But when you're at a winning watch party, it starts off the same. And plus, everybody thinks their candidate is going to win. When you get to that watch party, you get there early. Like, ooh, I'm going to give me some sliders. I'm going to give me some shrimp cocktails. I'm going to have me a couple little drinks. I'm going to mix. I'm going to mingle. I'm going to talk to all the people. And you have all the political discussions going on. And you got all the rumors going on. Ooh, it's so fun. And you talk about who was humping who. And you talking about this and talking about that. And then the polls close. And you're like, yes! Let's get this victory. And then the first set of numbers come out. 10% reporting. You were up 60-40. Your candidate is winning. Ooh, I like it. You just start drinking more and partying. Now the music is playing because you know you got to have a DJ. Got a bunch of people, mostly white, that can't dance. They're all bumping into each other. Excuse me, sorry, I'm trying to cut a rug here. And you dancing with the white folks. You're all tripping all over each other. It's not even the electric slide. It's like the battery-operated slide. It's not even a real electric slide. And then you get some more results. Now you got 42% reporting, and you're up 55-45. And then 70% reporting. Now you're up 61-39. And then 99% reporting. You won the election. The jubilation feels like New Year's Eve, Christmas, your birthday. You just got a job promotion. You just won the lottery. It's all that rolled into one. And you're clapping and you're cheering because everything you did worked. Every piece of direct mail you sent, every door you knocked on, every text message you sent, every yard sign you installed, every placard you put in every business window along a Main Street corridor, it all worked. Your candidate won. They had the better message and they won over the voters. And guess what? You love democracy then. You're like, this is the best system in the world. I love democracy so very much. I love this process of electing the best representative because look at us. We won. And then people just start hugging. That's right. It's affection. You guys remember when Obama won in 2008 and they had the watch party at the Hyatt downtown? We couldn't even get to the Hyatt. People stopped their cars on the middle of Kilbourne and got out. And I'd never been hugged by so many white people in my entire life. I was like, is this a trick? Are y'all going to hug me and then wrap me up into slavery some kind of way? Come on over here, dude. Bring it in, man. Obama won. Oh, I will never forget that. I can't even compare that night to anything else because it was an incredible amount of optimism, total disbelief, but also a healthy amount of fear because I'm like, something's going to happen. Like America elected a black dude named Barack Hussein Obama.
that has a black wife and 2 black children, and he's from Chicago. I was like, this can't possibly last, but it did. Oh, that was the night right there. That was so fun. That was good. But that's what those winning parties feel like. And on the night of August 11th, someone will experience one of those 2 scenarios that I just described. Someone's going to be jubilant and overjoyed and believing in democracy and believing in the power of the people. And then at another couple of watch parties, people are going to hate everything about the process. They're going to hate the people. They're going to hate democracy. They're going to hate politics altogether. And some people will never return to working on political campaigns ever again because those losses can be just that devastating. But I suppose all of this remains to be seen, who is going to be the smiling face and who is going to be the frowning face on the night of August 11th. Now we'll talk about the post office. Just had to share that.
So do you think Kelderoy's and Joe Brandon, they're going to have a watch party and and their supporters are thinking they're going to win?
You always start out optimistic. So at the beginning of the night at every single party, at Francesca's party, at David's party, Joel's and Kelda's, they all begin the same way. Everybody is happy to see everybody. And most people are happy that the damn thing is over. Finally, because when you get the results, it's closure. And I think they're going to go into it very realistic. But what I think that Joel and Kelda will do, because they are absolute long shots, is they're going to take the time to thank everybody. Thank you for believing in us. Thank you for working so hard. We really appreciate everything you did. You know, we put forth a real good message. We had a positive campaign. We raised a lot of money. And there's a bunch of applause. But I think they're going to be – there are very few people that are going to go to those parties thinking that Joel or Kelda is going to win. So when your expectations are already low, it makes it a little easier. And then it's just like a get-together of like-minded people that you worked with for, 9 or 10 months on the same endeavor. And, you're realistic about it. It's still sad. And then you wonder, what is the candidate going to do next? And people make promises like, if you ever run again, Kelda, we're going to be right here with you. And, of course, the crowd will cheer for the candidate. And it's, it's actually a really nice moment. But if you think you're going to win and you lose, that's the worst kind of rug pull. That's just I guess I can compare that feeling to if you meet a really, really pretty guy or pretty girl, rather, gentlemen. So you're a man, you meet a really, really pretty girl, and you take her home and she has a tallywhacker. You're like, oh, this is a total letdown.
Some people won't mind that.
Yeah, but I don't think that's what you want to be surprised with. You know what I mean? Give somebody a heads up. And some of y'all will be like, all right, well, I guess this is what we're doing. Okay, well, this is not what I thought you were. And then that's how that happens sometimes. And then the woman that you thought it was a woman, but it's not. Then all of a sudden, once you discover that they're not a woman, all of a sudden their voice gets deeper.
Well, I'm sorry I didn't tell you, but we're already here. So, what do you want to do?
Kick them out of the house.
Yeah, I don't like deception. So I'm like, oh, well, I'm going to leave. And you're not going to say anything to anybody.
Oh, of course not. I won't ever do that. No.
I don't know about that. I heard a lot of Milwaukee. I just won't.
Oh, they kill transgender people in this city.
Yes. That's what I was gonna say.
You just might as well be honest and just be like, hey, just so you know, I got plumbing downstairs. External plumbing.
I think a lot of the guys already know that, but once they say, I'm going to tell someone, then that's when they do the killing.
Well, if they go through with it.
Yes.
Yeah, then don't tell. If somebody goes through with it, just keep your business quiet. You know what I'm saying? How do we get on this? I was supposed to be talking about the post office.
I don't know. It's kind of how we get onto all these subjects. Just kind of veers into it.
Why are people sending me tweets from Francesca from 2019?
I don't know. Maybe because they think that she's going to get caught up somehow.
Should I read it?
Yes.
It's stupid. It says, she posted this July 2nd, 2019. And it says, I ate 2 bites of my kid's cheeseburger at a Culver's in Black River Falls and told him they ran out of ice cream. Mostly just wanted to leave because I was on the verge of an anxiety attack
too many old white people who don't think we speak English. So what?
Sounds pretty normal.
Yeah. I guess they're trying to use it. Or is she racist against white people?
I thought this is a black talk radio station.
Well, it's sent to me by a white person.
Oh, okay. That makes sense then.
Yeah. So white people, just so you know, sometimes we don't like y'all. We don't. That's probably not fair to say. There's white people do white stuff that's just, we don't like it. And sometimes we tweet about it. You're fine. You'll be okay. You'll live if an Asian person or a black person doesn't like you. Y'all don't like us, and we're fine. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We gotta make moves and make them early. Set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up and stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things.
Start building your retirement plan at thisispretirement.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
For 75 years, the Muscular Dystrophy Association's voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
For 75 years, we've willed the impossible into existence.
For 75 years, the MDA community has pushed the science,
shifted the narrative, and established the field of neuromuscular medicine.
And until that day, when this is all a thing of the past,
you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
You can't buy a best friend. You can love them, walk them, pet them, and care for them, whether they want you to or not. You can take a picture or 50. You can fly to the moon, travel the world, or just stay in bed. You can't buy a best friend like that, but you can adopt one. There are millions of pets waiting for a best friend just like you. Help us save them all at bestfriends.org.
Talking about guns with others might not always feel comfortable, but it could save a life. Here's a way to start a conversation. Your family is going over to your neighbor's home for dinner for the first time. How would you ask if there are any unlocked guns in the home?
Hey, we're so excited for tonight. Before we come over, though, may I ask if there are any unlocked guns in your home?
Our guns are stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access.
Awesome. Learn how to have the conversation at agreetoagree.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Wherever there's a need in our communities, there's a United Way. Improving lives so everyone can thrive. Where more people can gain access to health care and nutritious food for their tables. Where more community members can benefit from financial education and get connected to local resources for housing support. And where children are given more chances to reach their full potential. Community is where we find our strength and where we share our hope. United is the way. Visit unitedway.org.
Are people around me safe when I vape? Science does not support that belief. Exhaled vape emissions linger in the air, affecting indoor air quality and bystanders in the same space through secondhand exposure. Vaping emissions can also accumulate on clothes, hair, dust, and furniture, leading to exposure risks to bystanders of all ages. And vaping around a pregnant person can lead to serious health impacts on fetal and childhood development. Enough with the puff. Learn more at ul.org/vaping.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Milwaukee has experienced recurring operational problems significant enough to trigger multiple federal audits of its post office, and certain neighborhoods have experienced periods of poor service that exceed what many customers would consider acceptable. The United States Postal Service does not always keep accurate records by city and failed mail delivery, but they do keep track of on-time delivery, processing efficiency, route performance, and mail processing operations. Those metrics are reported by district and processing facilities rather than by individual city complaint rates. Let this expose play a little bit. Has nothing to do with the post office whatsoever. I just love 80s freestyle music. Let's talk to the caller. You're on 101.7 The Truth.
Professor Hughes, how you doing, brother?
Doing good. How are you?
I got to call you Chef Hughes, and you know when I do that, I'm proud to be one of your day one listeners and a significant contributor. Your comments on Mandela Barnes were right on point and consistent with what I said on Homer and Bailey's show. Is the key word in this whole situation is that article is adults. And, you know, the fact that you pointed out that they're using language like young in order to make you think that he's committing a crime, you know, or to villainize him in some way. I don't think you'll have to go to a fish fry today, brother, because you're cooking on that one, okay? So I'm very proud of it. He is just very consistent with the chaos and the mess that when I called last week, I just said it was a mess, this whole primary thing, and now it's a hot mess. And so even if something crazy like Tony Evers deciding he's going to get back in the race, you know, so that whoever wins lieutenant governor, you know, would be able to take over, might be smarter for this goofy Democratic Party here in our state. And, you know, so I just like the comments, and even though you don't, it just shows your character. Even though you don't rock with Mandela like that, you know, he's another black man who is being categorized in a way that he doesn't deserve, and you're using your platform to tell the truth about it. And I frequently say on your show is where we get the most truth, because to your point, there are white women all over the internet talking about how to snag professional athletes, right? And I think you addressed that on your show.
Thank you for your compliments. I've seen those articles, but I don't know. I didn't talk about it specifically, but also let white women talk about how they can snag black athletes, because those black athletes, they're not children, and nobody can get snagged that don't want to get snagged. So it is what it is.
Amen. Amen. And they are young women. That's my point. And they're, you know, actually online giving tutorials to other women. And, you know, if you've been to a Bucks game, they come in all different flavors, colors, height, and BBLs. And you know the ones who are there to attempt to do that. There are veteran players and retired players who actually give instruction to rookies and even college players on what this is, because, you know, even at a high school level, these kids are now earning money. So they need to know not to waste it on something, you know, to a certain degree. And if they don't, then they'll wind up broke like a lot of pro athletes do.
Indeed, brother. Well, thank you for your call. Have a good weekend.
You do the same.
All right. Even though he said I was cooking and I don't need to get a fish fry, I wish he wouldn't have brought fish fry up, because now I want one. Go to the packing house, get a fish fry. Tell them Uncle Sherwin sent you. They got a real nice fish fry. You get clam chowder, and you get 3 healthy, beautifully, perfectly breaded pieces of cod, and you have your choice of fresh homemade potato pancakes or very crispy, crunchy, perfectly seasoned golden French fries. I get a little bit of both. I get some potato pancakes and the French fries. I get a little bit of both because I'm just fat like that. That's what I do. And I wash it down with a very nice lemonade, and it's very delicious. Go to the packing house, 900 East Layton Boulevard in Milwaukee, right across from the airport. Tell them Sherwin Hughes sent you. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
At Milwaukee College Prep, we believe brilliance lives in every child. Here, students are challenged, supported, and celebrated every single day. With small class sizes, Dedicated teachers and a proven track record of academic excellence, MCP is helping Milwaukee kids reach their fullest potential. Enrollment is still open for grades K-3 through 8. Spaces are limited. Apply today. Give your child a school where they'll thrive. Visit mkeprep.com or call today. Milwaukee College Prep, brilliance lives here.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Reading aloud to children sharpens their listening skills, expands their vocabularies, and nurtures a lifelong love of reading. That's why Reading is Fundamental, the nation's leading children's literacy nonprofit, offers free monthly read-alouds by popular authors through its Rally to Read program. Visit rallytoread.org to watch the read-alouds and discover exciting reading activities for school and home. Visit rallytoread.org today.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
When I met both of them, it was like my missing pieces were found. Like it was just like an instant, these are my kids. If you're considering adopting a teen, just do it. Kids need families. I don't care the age, everybody deserves a family.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
So I know a lot of you people are considering whether you want to vote for a Democratic socialist or not. In this race in Wisconsin, which is unlike anything I've ever seen in my life, the Democratic socialist is the sane one. Everybody else, Mandela bows out in disgrace. Joel is at 2%. Kelda's at 2%. David Crowley dropped out of the race, got back in the race, got the endorsement from the governor. The current lieutenant governor lost $2 million. Then she found $2 million, and she ended up only having $34,000. The only person that is legitimately clean is the one that has the most far-fetched and unrealistic policies. And so there's a lot of anti-capitalism rhetoric, and for some reason, black folks believe, and God bless us as black people, but we don't know who the hell we are. Can we start with that? We were Negroes, and we were black, and we were African American. Now some of us now we're Moors. Now we're the black Israelites, and now all of a sudden, where'd this thing come from? We're black people, the original Native Americans. You know how insane we sound? We will fall for anything. Look, we want to be a part of something. Are we African? Where in Africa are we from? Africa's a whole continent. Are we Egyptian? Did we build the pyramids? Are we from sub-Saharan Africa? Are we from the Ivory Coast? Are we from Ghana? Are we the original Native Americans? Are you guys hearing this stuff? Where there's now this thing where black people we were here on America first, like there's no Native Americans because it was black people.
Yeah, I've
Every
heard
10
that.
years, who are we?
It's-
Israelites,
Yeah.
Asiatic black people, where Islam is our first religion. It's actually quite embarrassing, but it means that we're so searching for an identity because we really don't have one. And we will fall for anything politically. I'm a capitalist, and I'm going to explain to you why. Because of all of the other economic modalities that the globe has tried, capitalism is the one that produces the most wealth and produces the most creativity and produces the most innovation. If I stay in the lab trying to invent a better mousetrap and I bring the better mousetrap to market, it's going to meet the needs of people and they're going to buy it. It's simple and it's pure. Can it be exploited? Yes. Socialism can be exploited too. Look at North Korea. That's a form of social government too. They all go to the damn extremes. And the extreme of capitalism is you have incredible amounts of wealth. And we don't like that because that siphons off money and resources from poor people. But the extreme socialism is a kind of ironclad communism where human beings are not allowed to be free and creative. All the elections get stolen. You can't express your thoughts. You can't have freedom of speech. They all have the potential of being extreme. I am more used to the capitalism extreme than the socialism extreme. Both can be very, very bad. But for black people that believe that a modality that is essentially concocted by white people, that by adopting democratic socialism and ending capitalism, that racism is going to disappear, you are just as confused as the black people that think that they are Israelites, Moors, and Native Americans. We got to stop falling for this stuff. And here's something else I'm going to push back on. No, we're not going to start our own black political party because nobody would contribute and we still wouldn't vote. If the standard is the empirical evidence rather than ideology, there are several features of capitalism that are widely accepted by economists across the political spectrum, Democrats, Republicans, Democratic Socialists, et cetera, even by many scholars who support stronger regulation, labor protections, or social democracy, even economists that are critical of the laissez-faire kind of capitalism generally acknowledge that markets generate important benefits while arguing they require government intervention to address failures. Number one, capitalism creates more wealth than any alternatives ever yet demonstrated. This is a foundational argument over the past 2 centuries. Countries that embrace markets and capitalism, private property, entrepreneurship, and investment have experienced unprecedented increases in standard of living. Global extreme poverty has actually fallen dramatically since 1980. Average life expectancy, because of capitalism, has more than doubled since the pre-industrial times. Real incomes have risen exponentially. The debate today is generally about how to distribute wealth, not whether capitalism is able to produce it. Number two, competition forces continuous improvement. One of capitalism's most powerful mechanisms is the business cannot remain complacent. Companies must continually improve to remain competitive. Quality, price, convenience, efficiency, and customer service. Poor performers will lose customers and ultimately go out of business, all because of capitalism. Under monopolistic government systems or centrally planned economies, poor performance often persists because consumers don't have any alternatives in non-capitalist systems. Number three, capitalism harnesses self-interest into public benefit. This is the big one. Adam Smith's famous insight remains remarkably durable. People who do not have to be self-sacrificing to produce social value. A bakery does not make bread primarily to feed its neighbors. It makes bread to make profit. Yet society receives from this bread maker food, jobs, tax revenue, innovation, and investment. Self-interest becomes socially productive through voluntary exchange, which is only available in capitalism. Number four, decentralized decision-making solves an impossible information problem. This is one of the least understood advantages of capitalism. No government ever possesses enough information to know how many shoes need to be produced, which restaurants consumers want, how many electric vehicles people prefer, which neighborhoods need another grocery store. That is what markets determine, not governments. And if you have social democracy, you lose all of that insight. Let's talk to Andy. Is this Andy?
Yeah,
Oh.
Professor Hughes. I heard you talking about capitalism. Can I say one thing?
Yes.
What you said, that's all good and true, but what's lost in all that is the extent to which capitalism, honestly, it forsakes life. It sacrifices life because the principal value is profit, and it consumes everything in its wake. So, as we've seen, life suffers. And if the value is profit and innovation, then everything else be damned. It's sort of like the big three religions. They just forsake life for some other ideal.
If a high school kid wants to have a little money in their pocket and they buy a lawnmower and they want to cut people's grass in the neighborhood for $10 or $15 so that they can make a little bit of profit so they can hang out with their friends and they can buy stuff off of Amazon, you mean to tell me that that's detrimental and that's dangerous? If somebody wants to, they're very good at cleaning cars. They want to start a little auto detailing shop right there in their driveway, and they don't want to work for anybody else. And they buy their supplies, and they do a good job detailing cars, and they become successful and popular. And then maybe they make enough money to get their own building, and now they can hire people, and they can employ people, and they can pay people wages, and they can give people benefits, and they can give people health insurance. And this person who started this small detail shop is now an employer where people can feed their families, and they're paying into Social Security, and one day they can retire very happy because they're an entrepreneur. You mean to tell me that that hurts people? When we think about capitalism, don't think about the big, gigantic business. Think about a dentist office that employs 7 or 8 people. Think about someone who has a dry cleaners, or think about somebody who's an accountant. They help people do their taxes. That's capitalism. The services that we need that we're willing to pay for. There's nothing inherently wrong about that. Everything can get exploited, absolutely, but let's not look at the extremes and call that the normal. It's not. Small businesses is what fuel capitalism, and that's what fuels the American economy. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, we encourage it, and I encourage black businesses. I encourage black people to stop working for somebody else where they can treat you like crap on the job and have your own business, make your own rules, and you can hire your own people. It's very simple, and do not demonize that system.
No, I wouldn't do that. Hey, that guy that wants to mow the lawn, I got a job for him.
No, you better not, because that's capitalism. If you pay them money for providing you a service, you better not. They need to do it for free because grass needs to be cut and no one should profit. Everyone should have cut grass for no money because it's the right thing to do.
No, I agree with you. I think it just, on the large scale, I think we would probably agree that what we need is a stronger, some kind of mixed economy where you got all that stuff working together. You got strong capital.
You call the police and they come. We have pay taxes and they pave our roads and they plow our snow. We have social democracy, and to an extent it works very, very well. But you need all of these different options and opportunities for a society to run because America is big and it's diverse.
Yeah, but wouldn't you agree that you got to rein in the worst impulses of capitalism where they just destroy for the sake of profit?
Yes.
I mean,
and it's called regulation. Yeah. Absolutely. And there's one political party that people can choose to vote for that will be much more regulatory on capitalism, and they will break up monopolies, and they won't allow certain mergers to where we have less competition in the marketplace. Absolutely. Capitalism is, in fact, regulated, but also it has to be incumbent upon the voter to make sure that we are putting people in place that will regulate capitalism. This is why voter education and civics is so important. So one of the reasons why capitalism is able to be so exploitative is because the Americans, we turn a blind eye to this stuff.
Yeah. Hey, you're right. Hey, I just rewatched, I replayed the Democratic primary. And can I say I have a question for you.
Oh, the debate. You rewatched the debate.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I have to say, the people listen, I'm getting behind whoever wins that nominee. But the people who are excited about Francesca Hong, boy, I gotta say I didn't get it. I came away from that thing thinking, what's the big fuss? She's uninteresting. She can't communicate. And I didn't see, she wasn't that different than anyone else up there regarding the positions. I'll tell you who stood out was that Royce, that woman on the far right. She looked like an executive. But I don't understand what all the hype is about Hong. You know?
She's promising a lot of really great stuff.
I didn't hear it. And she can't communicate.
That debate was probably not the best. If someone was unfamiliar with her, that debate probably did not thoroughly explain who and what she is. In that debate, all she had to do was not fail because she's in such a commanding lead in the polls. She didn't have anything to prove. She just had to be on the stage and make it from start to finish, and that's what she did. No, she was not particularly compelling or convincing, but she didn't have to be because she's in the lead. In fact, she'd probably still be in the lead had she not even showed up for that debate because if you recall, in 2024, Donald Trump didn't go to any Republican debates because he didn't have to because he was leading so much in the polls. So she showed up just to be there, but she didn't have to do a stellar job. She wasn't really convincing anybody. The people that know her know her. The people that don't.
Okay. Well, hey, I'm going to put on my big boy pants. I'm voting for whoever gets that nominee. So, hey, thanks for all your analysis.
You're welcome, Andy. Have a good weekend.
Okay.
Said he's going to put on his big boy pants, which leads me to believe, are you right now wearing little boy pants? The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Educators Credit Union is more than a place to manage your money. They're where your financial possibilities take shape. They're more than transactions. They're conversations about your financial goals. More than numbers, they're community advocates who support free, local events that are accessible to all. They foster community because we are stronger together. Educators Credit Union is people helping people. Become a member at ECU.com. Insured by NCUA. Membership eligibility required.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Doctors Without Borders is delivering life-saving medical care where it's needed most in communities around the world. From bandaging war-wounded patients in Sudan to providing clean drinking water in Haiti, we're in more than 70 countries worldwide, bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from crisis to care. This life-saving care is made possible by a global movement of supporters like you. Thank you.
Mommy, can I sit in the front seat just this one time? Please, please, please.
No, not yet.
But why?
Because I love you, and you're just not ready yet. Now, get in the back so I can get you in your car seat, please.
Putting your kids in the right seat for their age and size is an act of love. Check that your kids are in the right seat at NHTSA.gov/the right seat. Love protects. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
In sitcoms, when someone has a problem, they just blurt it out and move on.
Well, I lost my job and my parakeet is missing. How was your day?
But the real world is different. Managing life's challenges can be overwhelming. So, what do? We get support. The Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council have mental health resources available for you at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. See how much further you can go when you take care of your mental health.
For 250 years, our armed forces have bravely served America. Wounded Warrior Project honors that legacy by supporting post-9/11 service members and veterans like Anthony, a Marine who was injured by a roadside bomb in Afghanistan.
They carried me through my injuries, not just my physical, but my mental. And seeing other vets doing the same thing helped me tell myself, hey, you can do this.
Join us in honoring warriors at woundedwarriorproject.org/America.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Capitalism rewards problem solving. Profits generally flow towards solving problems people actually care about. Examples include faster and better communication, better, more effective medicine, cheaper transportation, improved logistics, and more efficient agriculture. The larger the problem solved, the larger the potential reward. In capitalism, failure is information. Unlike many political systems, capitalism allows for failure. Businesses close, investments fail, products flop. While painful for those directly affected, these failures redirect labor and capital toward more productive uses. Economists sometimes call this the creative destruction. Innovation is incentivized. Capitalism provides extraordinary incentives to innovate. Examples include smartphones, streaming technology, electric vehicles, biotechnology, artificial intelligence, and minimally invasive surgeries. The possibility of significant financial returns encourages firms to invest billions in research despite uncertain outcomes. Capitalism encourages capital formation. Capital accumulation is frequently overlooked. Businesses save and invest in factories, machinery, software, robotics, warehouses, infrastructure. Higher capital per worker generally leads to higher productivity, higher wages, and greater output. And number 10, consumers vote every day. Unlike elections every 2 or 4 years, markets provide continuous feedback. Consumers vote with their dollars. Businesses that fail to satisfy customers lose revenue and go under. This creates instant accountability. Let's talk to Mech. You're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
Hey, Sherwin, how you doing?
I'm good. What's on your mind?
Great show. You're working tonight, right?
I don't know yet. I need
You
to
don't know
rest.
yet?
I don't know.
Well, didn't you rest last night?
No. I was in the streets
well,
last
I'm trying
night.
to hook this thing up with you and Linda. So,
Hey! No, don't do that.
know,
I don't need that.
I got to do it.
No, you don't.
Linda's going to call tonight. I'm going to call. So, you have your ears open, as Toya would say, and you all have a great week. I'll talk to you tonight.
Not if I'm not there. I don't need you. I don't need
What
you.
do you mean by that?
Thank you, Drewski. I don't need you hooking me up with Linda. I don't need that hookup. I don't want a fish that's automatically going to jump in my boat.
I feel you there, but sometimes you don't. Sometimes you just want it to fall into your laps.
No, I don't.
Oh, you don't?
What's wrong with it? I don't want to if it's that easy.
Sometimes I don't like to do the chase.
I want a woman that's hard to get. That this disses everybody. You know what I mean?
Well, if you're courting her, I was just talking about, wham bam.
I want the woman that turns down everybody. I remember a long time ago, I was at a nightclub called CO2. CO2 used to shake. 2 levels. Okay. Went in there one night. It was during the week. Like on a Wednesday night was like the biggest night for CO2. So I was in there on a Wednesday night. Looking good. I'm a young man too. I'm probably 30, 31 in my peak prime. And I saw this insanely beautiful woman dancing on a speaker, wearing this short, like kind of like, it was a black dress, but it was kind of flared at the bottom. So as she's dancing, you could see her glory. And all these guys are just gawking at her because she's dancing on a speaker. She's basically putting on a show for everybody. All the guys that were at CO2 that night were standing around the speaker watching this insanely beautiful woman dance to the music. Not a single one of them even thought to approach her or to talk to her. I said, let me watch this. And I cleared a path. I said, get out the way. Move. I'm moving people out the way. I reach my hand up. She grabbed my hand. I help her down the speaker. I got her. That's what I want, the woman that everybody else wants and can't get. If it's anything other than that.
What happened after that?
Don't you worry about it.
That's what I'm wondering.
Don't you worry. She and I became very, very good friends from that point forward. Now, she's married with children now. That a long time ago. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
But that's my thing, though. I don't unless I'm in the mood. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just want fast food.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
You know what
I
mean?
like fast food a lot.
I'd rather have a home cooked meal.
Nah.
The
McDonald's is pretty good.
Can I? Ray Nitty and maybe Shannon with the lunch break is up next. Everybody have a good weekend. Goodbye.
Freedom has a history. Come experience it. Visit the Milton House Museum, Wisconsin's only certified Underground Railroad site open to the public. Tour the historic 1844 inn, step down into the cellar, and walk through the underground